Alright, and welcome back to Lizards and Locations. This is going to be our second episode of the Name Redacted campaign that I'm running. Hopefully that'll end by today, unless our heroes get extremely sidetracked. Which wouldn't be the first time.
Is that a challenge?
It is. Become sidetracked. Embrace the inner ADHD.
Listen, you don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah, no kidding. When we last left our party, they were setting up camp for the night, about half a day's march outside of Ravendale. The city's lights and the commerce coming in and out from the ocean to the west, very much in view, as well as the much farther away, and as well as the connecting bridge of Hollow Port, and as well the giant, unnaturally sharp mountains that make their way towards the north. They're about to go back into the company of the Pillars of Bahamut, who are bringing them to their headquarters in Ravendale. Along the way, they met up with some quarreling dwarves and a band of orcs who were attacking them. Through a lot of very determined diplomacy, it all ended up to be fairly clean and free of bloodshed. There wasn't a whole lot of loss of life, and any unconsciousness that was quickly healed pretty much immediately. So what ended up happening was they got the two sides to parley. They were able to request an investigation into the lands of the orcs, who were not quite enthusiastic to allow them to do that, but allowed it nonetheless. They actually made some good friends along the way. There's a good little bit of reputation in the dwarven city of Dorgar, and the Dorgari dwarves that they definitely made a good impression on. As well as the Orcish tribe of the Northern Forest, which they didn't quite get the name of. But they also didn't ask, so maybe one of them knows a bit more than they've let on in that particular department. We're going to kind of continue that little march to the north. We're going to see what the city of Ravendale has in store for them. And you guys go ahead and take it away. The sun is rising, and you all awaken. What do you do?
I'm sucking dick.
Yes, you are. You've been doing that pretty much the whole time, and you've been doing a really good job of it.
Hell yeah.
Assyrian is extremely pleased by this situation, and I think he's probably gonna be a staunch ally of yours from now on.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Literally, fuck yeah.
Literally, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Also, immediately, again, earning that explicit tag on iTunes.
Yep.
That's what we're all about here.
So now, what are all my friends doing?
I don't know, what are your friends doing?
You have friends?
I have a lot of friends right now.
I'm giving you the reins of that narrative, so you tell me what they're doing.
Fuck.
You're pretty much the leader of that little
I mean, I'm always up for a morning shag.
where you
Is it like a jog? Is that what that means?
maybe a little bit.
It's a job.
It's a very sprightly jog.
It was a very full set, so why not?
So we shag now or shag later then?
Are you in the tent?
No.
Definitely not.
Jonas is definitely praying right now.
Do you join me and all my like half orc, half human,
like,
half
please.
demon friends?
Please.
Yeah, pretty much.
Please.
You had
Save me.
you were the most popular within the little community of half races that have found their way to the Pillars of Bahamut.
For sure.
All right, so sucking dick.
I don't know that's what I'm doing.
Someone's sucking dick in that tent. I guarantee it.
Just doing his morning rituals.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Des doing?
Sucking dick.
This is kind of, very, wakes up when the sun rises and kind of, getting on her, outfit and stuff, doing a quick, little splash off or whatever just to kind of, clean herself up and then kind of putting on all of her stuff and then, doing a quick roll up of a cigarette and going out for her morning smoke.
So nothing too crazy. If anyone wants to do something special for the night, or are we just gonna get straight into the march towards Ravendale?
So
I'm good.
probably get straight into the march.
Okay. Well, in that case, you see everybody kind of collect their things. Everyone's very excited to not have to do the march quite so much. You see Oradias, who's been your companion as well, gathering up all of her things, magically kind of a little wave of her hand, and things start popping out of view and into, well, you're not quite sure. It just kind of disappears, much like she did in that little altercation you guys had with the orcs and the dwarves. Alright, so you guys all line up. There's a very nice, orderly march. Everyone seems to be in high spirits, especially because no one was particularly lost, and there wasn't any serious injuries, so... As far as engagements go, that was one of the more high-spirited ones. So as you guys make your way towards Ravendale, the spiky, craggly mountains to the north become you can feel the kind of almost unnatural wind coming down from the northland and just blowing your hair up, and there's always seems to be just a little bit too icy of a chill in the air as you guys are making your way up towards Ravendale. But as the sun comes up, the lights in all of the town kind of fade out as day turns into, night turns into day. And you guys meet at the gates of Ravendale, very large iron rock gates with the icon of a raven kind of splashed across two iron doors. And the guards kind of chat with the lieutenants and the captain of the Pillars of Bahamut Assyrian, kind of taking a vanguard position, a point position, talking very happily with the guards, saying, "Oh yes, we've just come from Cliffhaven, an excellent mission. We've all had a great time. We need to report back to our masters though, so if you would not mind letting our army through, we would be very happy to get this all over with and be out of your hair." And you can see the guards kind of going, kind of rolling their eyes, yeah, okay. And then you hear a clang on the iron doors as they split open, and you enter your way into Ravendale. As you go through the almost like a grid line, it's kind of set up, not quite rows on rows, but more almost like a circular grid. It's very orderly. It's very well put together, especially towards the gate.
Does it seem like most of the activities in the center and it kind of widens as it spreads out?
Where you are at the gate, especially the south gate, there's not a whole lot of activity.
Okay.
Most of the activity that you can hear, because it kind of echoes throughout the city, and it kind of echoes, and you can kind of tell where most of the thing is. It's mostly towards the west, towards the port.
Okay.
There's a lot of hustle and bustle down at it's the southwest port, and then towards the west there's the long bridge towards Hollowport.
Is the city pretty flat, or is it kind of
It goes it's like a tiered city. It starts
Acropolis almost
Yeah, because it goes up into the mountains, so
Okay.
it kind of builds up, and you can see towards the northeast there's a large castle.
Okay.
That kind of overlooks the city and overlooks over towards the east the forest.
Okay.
It can't get over the mountains to the north, especially the sharpened ones. But it's a very imposing kind of this is a place where people go and you can see everything that's happening throughout the city, and it's very large. And you can see a lot of banners flying on it as well.
So we're coming from the south. You said port to the west.
Yeah, you're in the you're like a southeast style
forest
opening to the city, because in between you and the ocean is those hills that have been there throughout your entire march.
Okay.
They've fallen off a little bit, as it kind of seems like this little area of Ravendale and Hollowport is almost carved out of the more like hostile and inhospitable kind of locale that is the mountains, especially the ones that I've mentioned, the very sharp ones.
Yeah.
Like it seems like this isn't quite the ideal place to put these kinds of places, but you got that kind of thing the same in Cliffhaven, where like the north and south of that area aren't exactly hospitable, but for whatever reason that particular area seemed to be just carved out, like something happened in that particular area to make it more hospitable.
And probably for some kind of defense having the mountains so close.
Yeah, and Cliffhaven is pretty defensible. Like there's a reason why that is a pretty, important port town, where like you need to have some kind of like a stopping point between Ravendale and Hollowport to the north, and some of the other cities that are towards the south that you guys haven't quite been exposed to yet. But there's definitely a lot of traffic between the western coast of this continent.
And as far as comparing the two in population size, this one probably seems much larger.
Oh, Ravendale is like a full metropolis.
Okay.
It is a full city.
Okay.
Like if you are thinking of Waterdeep, it's like Waterdeep.
Yeah, gotcha.
And then it also has, a twin city about, I want to say 5-6 miles to the west of that, as the continent kind of like curves and hooks down.
Okay.
And there's like this little bay almost that are straddled by two cities.
And if we were to look upon the population of it, would we see most races represented, or is this more of a certain particular race sticking out? Because maybe mountains, maybe dwarves, or like, is that apparent at all?
You don't see a lot of dwarves, but that's not unusual.
Okay.
Most of the time, dwarves tend to stick to themselves, especially because there are so many dwarven cities in like in the mountains to the north and the hills to the south. Like Dorgar is a dwarven kind of city that's a little bit south of you. That's what was being attacked by orcs.
That's the guy we met. That was
He was from Dorgar.
Okay.
And so there are dwarves there, but there's not as many as you might think that would be in like a mountainous area, just because they kind of keep to themselves. And especially nowadays where things are a little bit more chaotic, it's not unusual to see people are kind of retreating back. Like the people of Andersville are probably kind of retreating back. The people like Cliffhaven, though it doesn't have especially like rooted individuals, a lot of them are merchants and a lot of them are travelers. Even they're probably going to be a little bit more wary, a little bit more like careful. There's not a lot of traveling along the roads now. A lot of it you've noticed has been transferring to the ocean, which through if they whether this is true or not, they believe that kobolds, lizardmen, those kind of people, they're not as proficient at sailing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Based on just the cultural.
Right. So there's a lot of different races. Gnomes are pretty popular in here. There's a lot of humans, and there's more than the fair share of Dragonborn as well.
Okay.
And you feel like the Pillars of Bahamut probably have a lot to do with it.
Okay. Metallics and chromatics both.
Yeah, you don't particularly notice more of one or the other.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay. So as you guys are walking towards the center of town. Before you get to the center, though, Assyrian and the host kind of takes a right turn along an alley, and you guys go up a set of terraced stairs as they go up towards the northeast side of that big castle that I was talking about. Seems like that's pretty much where you guys are headed, and you can hear the tromp, 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 tromp of the boots of the host of the Pillars of Bahamut as you guys approach that area. And again, there's another large set of gates that are at basically the top of the hill, allowing access to that large. And you can kind of look at it, and it doesn't seem like a fortress. There's a bit more access points. There's the large doors you have here, but you can also see there's a few more areas where there's some doors even 50 yards to your left, 50 yards to your right. There's a lot of branching areas that lead up to the thing, so it's not it's easily guarded, but it seems more accessible than you're at. than,
Less
like,
militaristic and more.
yeah,
accessible.
it's and you can see like looking through the windows and looking through all of the like little areas that are open towards the open air. There's a lot of books that you can see, a lot of bookshelves, a lot of like candles, a lot of like open areas. Like it's not a locked down kind of like. There's a bastion, I think is the word I'm looking for, like a defensive bastion.
Yeah.
It's more like this is just a very sturdy structure.
Okay.
And as you guys get through the thing, there's no one's going to accost you. The guards kind of like look at you like they haven't seen you before, but they don't really think about it too much. They see plenty of people that they've never seen before every day. And you're also with the Pillars of Bahamut, and they've garnered some trust in the city, especially nowadays when they've heard about all of the things that you guys have done down in Cliffhaven. They've heard about the attacks and all of the, especially the attacks of Knowles, where the Cliffhaven militia and you guys have, repelled that attack. And Knowles are not anything to be taken lightly. They can be very destructive and very, very vicious. So your reputation precedes you just a little bit. So we're going to go farther in towards the castle. You're going to open up the large wooden doors, not quite as sturdy as the ones to get into the actual courtyard. And right away you can see there's bookshelves on bookshelves, and there's mages running around, and there's things that are just kind of a little bit more magical than what you would expect. You can see a couple of pseudo-dragons flying from place to place. You see little mephits kind of going from bookshelf to bookshelf looking for things, most likely familiars from various mages and wizards that are trying to find a book and don't have the time to look for it themselves. And Oridaius kind of looks around, and her eyes are bright, and she's like, this is going to be great. As you guys arrive in Ravendale's famous library. And you guys kind of look around, you can smell all of the different components and all of the different, like, things that are just assaulting your senses. It's a little overwhelming if you have a especially keen sense of smell, and you haven't been used to, like, alchemical components and, like, magical utterings and different kinds of, like, the air is heavy with magic. And at this point, Assyrian kind of turns around and salutes his men, and all of his hosts kind of, like, stand at attention, also salute. And then he says, all right, mission accomplished, dismissed. And you see them kind of like, okay, and they kind of like, whew, like they've still been kind of tense up until the point where you guys actually got into the Ravendale Library. You're not really sure why you're in the library of all things, but this was the place where they were told to bring you, and this is the end of their particular mission. So you guys are now in the Ravendale Library. You can see a lot of librarians, you can see a lot of wizards. And Assyrian kind of like waits until everyone is kind of dismissed, and then he comes over to you guys and says, well, what an excellent march. I hope you guys are ready for some very interesting information. I'm sure our master is very excited to get to meet you guys. You guys don't want to do anything in the library? You guys just gonna...
Who is this master that you speak of?
Oh, well, I feel like if I explained it now, that might be a bit anticlimactic. I feel like you guys want to meet him yourself.
Ooh, surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean for it to be a surprise, but now that we're here, it seems a bit like, oh yeah, it's just this guy, and this is all the things that he does, and like he could probably just tell you himself. He's waiting for you guys.
It's nice that you two have surprises still in your relationship.
We've known each other for like maybe a week and a half.
Lots of surprises, yeah.
I can hear trip spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway. La, 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 la.
Alright, well,
Oh, you're an idiot.
Yasadi and Koras and Assyrian all kind of like gather around. They go towards the back of the library. You kind of follow them back into the kind of like the recesses. There's a couple of different doors that you go down to, and it's not quite the open library at this point. It's more like secluded study sessions, like little cloisters, places where people can go outside of the hustle and bustle of people, like, talking and bullshitting and a bunch of things running around. Though as you walk through all of the hallways and all of the different little corridors, you see above most of the doors there are like little sections that are cut out. Some are circular, some are more widened rectangles. There always seems to be like multiple areas for little things to kind of critter their way through and crawl their way through. And as you guys make your way farther and farther into the back of the mountain, into the back of the library, you can tell you're going deeper and deeper into the mountain, and it's getting a little bit colder. It's getting a little bit it's getting a little chilly as the warmth of the water kind of fades away and can't quite penetrate that deep into the mountains, and especially through like a big stone fortress. Until you guys find something that's a little bit different architecturally. It goes from more stone to like building stone to like a hewn almost into the mountain type of area. And there's a almost perfectly sealed wall with a motif of the platinum dragon bone on it. And there's nothing you guys haven't seen before. I don't think you guys need to make a religion check to know about a big, platinum looking dragon. Like, it's pretty obvious like what they're going for.
Of course I know.
Yeah. And you see the three of them kind of place their hands in different areas of the thing, and they mutter in Draconic a little prayer to Bahamut. And then it kind of splits down the middle, and a light kind of shines out from it until it kind of fades as the wall kind of opens up butterfly style into another similar one with like a stone, but like a bit more regal looking, a bit more impressive, as you guys make your way towards a large antechamber. And on this antechamber, you see a human male who is sitting on the opposite side of a large round table. And around his head circle 3 canaries. One of them kind of comes down, sits on his shoulder, and he kind of chirps at him a little bit. And you can see him kind of nod, and he looks to see the 4 of you, as well as his lieutenants and his captain for the Pillars of Bahamut. He's like, it's so good to see you all. I'm Vakal. And you can kind of see, like, in his... let's see. Make a perception check, all of you.
It's 11.
Okay.
Natural one.
Okay. You don't see anybody.
15.
See?
18.
18. Okay. So as Dez looks over this man, he can kind of tell there's something about him that's not quite right, not quite mundane. He's got short blonde hair with graying a little bit at the temples, but you can tell especially that like the gray at his temples has a bit of a luster to it, which is unusual for a graying human.
You would be especially an authority on this, seeing as you're the human in the party.
Mm-hmm. You're not a typical human, are you?
He kind of looks at you like, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I can't tell if this is offensive or not. I'm not versed enough in human culture.
Oh,
Seems fine.
It's the first time I've been asked if that's any indication.
There is honesty in it, and therefore it's good.
Well, welcome to the Pillars of Bahamut. Not that you guys have been quite so formally inducted, but I'm hoping that we can come to an understanding. Now, I'm not sure how much Ace has told you. I'm sure he's been very friendly. And you see Ace kind of like shift a little bit on his armor, and his armor like kind of clinks as he kind of like adjusts his sword and adjusts his belt. It's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, similar clinking.
They've been clinking a lot.
I'm not surprised. And Vaco kind of like
You
is
really
smiling.
can keep that to yourself, though. You don't have to tell everybody's business, Jonas.
What, that they're fucking?
Exactly.
Well, my friend. We don't have to tell strangers that.
He's not stranger.
Vaco is just watching like, okay, yeah, okay. No, continue.
But I don't know detail. What's the details?
I'm not gonna tell you details, my friend.
Ace?
Ace is not saying anything. For the first time you've seen him, he's not speaking.
It's just his jazzy background music playing by itself.
They don't have a wedding date yet.
I'm behind you.
One of the canaries comes and sits on his shoulder and kind of chirps at him, and he kind of like holds his hand up to the canary as well. It's like, yes, it's very good gossip, but please, business must come first.
What does that bird know?
Bird knows much more than you think.
Great.
The bird kind of flies off, and you see it go out one of the
Bird is good.
one of the many
Can you eat that?
one of the many
I
circular
like birds.
pathways that have been carved into the
Are these
area.
fucking doggy doors? Is that what they are? Like
Essentially, yeah, they're essentially like pathways for the birds and like little things to fly
That's
through.
great.
They're like like dog doors, but like for birds essentially.
I don't know if he's a very perceptive person, but Dez is definitely looking at the exits, like just kind of like checking around.
You see, there's not, unfortunately for this particular area, the room itself is not especially ornate. There is just like the large table that is kind of, you can tell, for like a meeting place, and there's 2 doors to each side going out towards like a T section, out towards the other sides, but like it's across the table and to either side of him. There's not a whole lot of escape from this particular area. You've kind of been led deep into the mountains. So if you tried to escape now, you might have a bit of a problem if they tried to stop you, which I'm not really sure that they would.
Yeah, I'm just like, I would just want it to be like, if he was a perceptive person and could pick up on that, he would definitely notice that Dez
Let me
is
make
like,
it-
uncomfortable.
Well, let's find out. Okay.
I'm comfortable. I'm with Ace.
Yeah, you two are very comfortable.
Very
Anyway.
comfortable.
Volko kind of clears his throat a little bit. Well, it's been brought to my attention that the 4 of you have been exposed to a bit of an embarrassment for us. The Dragon Orbs, as you guys have no doubt seen their power, at least a very small amount of it.
We've
Now-
seen one of them so far, right?
You've seen, you saw Siam Talk take the Black Dragon Orb from the Temple of Tiamat.
Yeah.
That you guys followed the kobolds to, or the trail of the kobolds to,
Yeah.
at least. So yes, you've seen the Black Dragon Orb transform a Black Dragonborn into basically just a more powerful version of a Dragonborn, like kind of like a half dragon type of situation.
Transmutation kind of.
Yeah, like he grew a bit, he grew wings, he became more powerful, he got some new abilities. And that was just from him just having it in his hand for like a few minutes. So, he continues. It is an extremely important charge of the Pillars of Bahamut to safeguard these relics. In the past, we've tried to hide them. We've tried to disguise them as other things. We've even wielded them ourselves in times of great need. A part of our history I am not fond of. And now what we've been using them for is to try and mend our world. I don't know how well versed you all are in the Untrackling, but it is a grave threat.
It is a tale I've been told, but not. I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
Or hearing of this.
The Untrackling that he's speaking of is the uneasiness
The
and
magic,
the
right?
magical instability that runs through the entirety of your world, and it's that's what Oradias is here to curate and to research. She got a job at this particular library so that she can research this phenomena. And you guys have seen kind of some of the things that can happen with that. Specifically when you tried to do a healing spell and instead...
That was all Grunch.
and then a lightning bolt did some damage instead.
Grunch was very upset with me that day.
That must have been it.
Would, curiously, for Jonas and his city at home, would his city have had more threats from elementals and of the like since the Untrackling, or?
You say since the Untrackling. The Untrackling is a thing that's happened so long ago.
Yeah.
There really isn't many records of
Prior.
before that.
Okay.
it's been a long time that this phenomenon has been kind of running rampant. And even with the relentless study, it's hard to get definitive reasoning as to why it's happening. Now, Vakal is telling you now that he knows a little bit more than probably most.
Okay.
And as much as he probably doesn't want to tell you, once you've been exposed to this kind of thing, you know that it exists, it might be time to kind of bring you into the fold, at least to see what your mettle is. Like, if you guys can handle that kind of thing.
Ting ting. Metal.
Addie's probably very bored at this point because we're talking about what you know about things, and she doesn't care.
Well, that's unfortunate, but he is going to continue. He's going to talk about the dragon orbs, and the charge of dragons in this world has been extremely important. We are, well, the pillars are the stewards of the dragon orbs, and the dragon orbs have been used since creation to strengthen the bonds of this planar system. You've seen the some of the interesting interactions the material plane has had with the different elemental planes. Perhaps the sweeping cold mist off of the west end of Cliffhaven, the unnatural craggy mountains just to our north. These are but a few different little instances of elemental energies not quite aligning correctly and impacting our world in diverse and often negative ways.
I'm gonna nudge Des and say, "You got any of that Andersville finest with you?"
Des just like passes it over.
Thank
It's
you.
like-
Now, as he's saying this exposition, somewhere 6 miles west of Cliffhaven, you see a familiar green-scaled individual making her way through a sunken temple, walking her way past a statue that has what seems to be a mismatched eye. Now, as she walks her way, you can see a doorway opening up before her, and within that doorway is what can only be described as a bright azure orb sitting upon a pedestal. A great amount of energy swirling around it, visible to the naked eye. And as she kind of rubs her hands together, kind of coming up towards it, and she scoops it into her hand and holds the blue dragon orb.
Fucking told you.
As that scene fades away, we go back to Vishal, who's explaining his way through the various instances of instability between the planes and the material. As he's doing that, the ground kind of rumbles quite a little bit. And the three birds that were almost perched and settled begin to fly around, and they all fly through various doggy doors, as John has called them. And Valko kind of pauses for a second. You can see him kind of almost like his attention is elsewhere for just a moment. And he comes back. He's like, "I'm sorry. Seems something is amiss. I will have to postpone the official coronation of the four of you into the pillars. Please, follow Ace back in towards the library area. I will send for you once I can." And with a little bit of more urgency than you usually see with someone his age, you see him kind of like hop down off of the chair and rush towards the left door. And Ace kind of like, you all kind of look towards Ace, and he's kind of looking very concerned, because this is, you get the feeling, not typical behavior.
Who's in the room with us?
Can I
right now?
insight his emotion?
Sure. The people who are in the room with you right now, you are the four of you. Ordias has held back and is going through something at the actual library. You are there with Assyrian, Yasadi, and Korast. The gold, silver, and black dragonborn. Excuse me. What do you want to do?
Before he
You see-
runs too far away, I want to cast command and say share.
To him?
Yeah, to share whatever information he got.
Okay. Unfortunately, once you do that, you see Koras kind of clamp his staff, and he makes an arcane gesture. Both of you are going to roll for the Untrackling, though.
The best part.
This could only end perfectly.
Yeah. I don't know why you're worried. Wait, is it a d20 or something else?
I roll it, you don't roll it.
Oh. For some reason, I thought we both rolled.
Yeah, you can roll if you want, but you're not going to know what it
You're
means.
trying to use your Scanlan dice.
I just grabbed a d20.
I just wanted the insight to see what his emotion was. Was
Do
it panic? Was it...
Do it.
Okay, so your cast goes off without a hitch, but his cast goes off empowered.
Oh.
So he's empowered, counterspelled your particular thing, and you can kind of feel your magical connection to Grimm's kind of like wither and become cut off, and you can't quite feel your patron deity at the moment.
That's not great. Be over here.
And Koras kind of looks at you like, please, contain yourself. And as he kind of like moves with the strange way that he moves his head where he doesn't turn.
He's the Black Dragonborn.
Yeah,
Roll
he's
my
the-
eyes at him.
He isn't like Ace.
He's...
Indifferent, I guess, is better.
Anyway, you wanted to do a insight check. What did you get?
I got a 6.
You can't really determine his innermost workings besides like the slight concern that is obvious on his face. And even then, that's a little difficult with like the features of a Dragonborn, like not to be overly like racist against Dragonborn, but their features tend to be a little less expressive than other races.
I'm gonna head out.
Or at least indecipherable because you have 6 insight into that. Anyway.
Detective.
Yeah, the detective's like, insight. It's like, well, it happens sometimes.
You look worried.
You did
Yeah.
take a sip of Andersville
If you say that to him,
Cypress.
he'd be like, very accurate. Please, let's not disturb the master any longer. Let's follow his instructions and we'll head back towards the library. Now, as you guys walk by, I want you all to roll for a random encounter,
Which is a d20.
which is a D12.
D12.
Oh,
See, I'm glad I asked.
house?
I
Oh,
found
That's a 12.
I found a use for the D12.
Finally, the most underappreciated die in D&D.
10.
That's your Barbarian.
2.
Well, it was a 10 that I got, so you guys do have a random encounter.
What?
Now, as you guys
Oh, you're
go
gonna hate
through,
that. I'll corner
the-
the castle. What'd I do to you?
you're just taunting him.
Yeah, I know.
I guess. Anyway, as you guys walk towards the library and towards the more research-heavy areas, you hear a bang, crash, and a little bit of a kerfuffle coming along as you hear books falling and you hear mages shouting. And you end up out into a small area of the library, a little secluded corner that you went in through to get towards the area of the Pillars of Bahamut. And you see a strange creature kind of making a bit of a ruckus. It looks like a few different creatures melded together, but they're different than the normal creatures you might find. You see like the head of a dragon, but instead of a dragon that might breathe fire, instead his mouth is almost like bubbles or his nose, and like he's kind of like this deep azure blue.
Like adorable bubbles or frightening acid bubbles?
They're just kind of bubbles. They're kind of have that nice like shimmer to it. And then on the other goat head, but the goat's horns are made of like almost rock, as its eyes kind of like give that glossy gemstone like feel to it. And then the lion's head in the middle, almost glowing, in some kind of like, you're not sure what kind of energy it is, but there's something to it that is not typical of that kind of animal. So you guys see this strange chimera, and it looks at you with all three heads, and it roars / bleats / I guess roars again.
Those bubbles.
But yeah, it gurgles at you, exactly,
My kin.
and kind of squares off.
Den's just gonna put up a hand and be like, "Don't go near that."
As
Oh,
you all,
it's so cute.
as you all roll initiative.
So fucking cute.
You pass me my D12.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Quinn.
That's a good one.
Whoa, there it goes.
Oh,
Pink dice
shit.
down! Pink dice down!
That's my only D20. Can I give you a different D20 and we get that one later?
I guess, but I gotta calibrate it.
Here, you can pick whichever one you want.
John already gave me the
Okay.
pretty.
Opalite.
It looks like Opalite, but I was afraid to say it on camera.
So who's ready for the best initiative?
I switched to my labradorite and it worked.
Hold on, I
Yeah.
have to calibrate.
There's my
So far, I've rolled 7
A zero.
sevens,
Pretty
so
good.
this is a good plan. I got the 1.
yeah, I saw that one right. You had it too late right out the gate.
And there's the 20. It's calibrated.
Right? The calibration wasn't great.
No, listen, it's calibrated.
You're not going last.
Listen, I calibrated the die.
This is how the DM told me to calibrate, and that's the way I'm gonna do it.
That is how I calibrate, so yeah.
I'm writing initiative versus fucked up Chimera.
Oh, I found it.
I have it listed as peculiar chimera, but that's one way to put it, I
I'm
suppose.
doing that comical cross out, and I'm putting peculiar.
I'm gonna write adorable.
Named it Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi.
Cross out's peculiar. Cheat
Cross out, go. No, here we go. Okay. Alright, so
My Chemical Romance.
let's go with
My
2025.
Chi-Chi Romance.
15 to 20.
18.
19.
Fuck you.
Wow.
We're on the same team, never mind.
So we've got Jonas at 18.
But he's above me.
Yep.
He went
And
at the top.
Dez
She, sorry.
at
Yeah.
19.
Get the.
Des is a fucking top.
Dez is a fucking
No.
Yeah, that's true. 10 to 15.
Yeah.
11.
Okay. Whisper at 11. 5 to 10.
Oh no.
And 0 to 5.
Oh yeah, 0.
Oh!
Okay.
Wait, what?
I was hoping for negative.
What?
Or minus
I
one.
have a -2 initiative.
Oh.
Alright, so Adi with the good old goose egg. And Giannis, who has?
19?
19. Oh, that's right.
That
18,
nice
18,
anymore.
18 for me.
I have
Okay,
19.
yeah. That's fine. Des, Jonas.
It's okay, I'll be down
Okay.
there power bottoming. Y'all can do all the
You're gonna
Really
power
ultimate.
bottom?
You're the ultimate power bottom, let's be real.
Yeah, you are.
those thighs though.
And Whisper puts
What
the
does this
princess
scene
in
look
Pillow
like?
Princess.
Do we have a scene?
I'm gonna build you a scene now. Alright. So, as you guys square up against this chimera, the attendants and librarians kind of like keeping their a wide berth, keeping their distance. Your Pillars of Bahamut companions do take up arms against it, though, as you see Yasali taking out her giant mace. You can see the Koras kind of mutter a little incantation as he casts mage armor on himself. And as that happens, it is Dez's turn, as she rolled the highest initiative.
Oh, interesting. Alright, you know how we start these things. First, I'm going to put on some Hunter's Mark.
Alright. Let me grab Hunter's marker from this little bag of tricks that I've got going here. And we're going to put it right on this dude.
With a skiff.
Alright. He has been so marked.
Is it so? It's the guy and the Chimera.
I mean, it's just a Chimera.
No.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking. Well, the only reason I was checking was because I have that ability.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
It's just a Chimera. This is purely representative.
I see. Okay.
It's just the
All right.
food.
So Hunter's Mark gonna pop a little shot at him.
Pop a little
or
shot.
or them. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is multiple heads, so you don't know how to identify.
I will not assume the Chimera.
Good plan.
Does the Chimera have enough intelligence to have these thoughts?
Intelligence 3.
Yeah, so, nah.
They're a little bit above actual animals. And this one is very upset.
Nice.
So may not be in its right mind either way.
22.
22 to hit?
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it.
Nice.
Alright. My 2d6. Bam. Ooh, very nice. Alright, so you got the old 8 piercing damage. Or actually, I think I forget the Hunter's Mark just adds damage. Oh no, it's bludgeoning. Okay. So we take 8 piercing and 5 bludgeoning.
Nice.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
And then I think Des will use up her movement to kind of move a little further away.
Okay.
Because
Where would you like to go?
to the right, just like maybe 4 spaces. Like directly to the right of her.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that works.
You gonna like hide behind these bookshelves?
I wouldn't say hide.
You just
so
want
much
to stand
as
next to the bookshelf?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright. Fair enough. Is that gonna end your turn?
That is all I can do. Yes.
Okay. In that case, it is Giannis's turn up next.
Alright. So I'm gonna try to point at him and I'm gonna shoot magic missile. So the 3 bolts come from each of the prongs of the trident.
Okay.
Hit him in the beak, Giannis.
Of course, I don't know if magic works.
We're gonna find out.
I
Okay.
think it has a beak, right?
A beak?
Yeah.
I mean, the dragon kind of has that going, but not quite.
I know. Well,
There's no bird.
Lion, goat, dragon.
Yeah.
well, beak is a relative term.
Bubble dragon.
Your spell goes off of that hinge.
Okay. 10 plus 3, 1 because 1 for each.
Mhm.
So 13 force damage. That's like all 3 parts of the trident shoot out that force blast. And then I'm going to use Quicken Spell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll use 2 of my sorcery points to do Firebolt cantrip.
Mhm.
Shoot that out. So that would be an attack roll. Pretty good. That's a natural 18. 18 plus 5, 23.
23 will hit.
For flavor, give me how you quicken it.
What was that?
Give me how you quicken it.
Like,
Oh, it's straight up like Naruto, like the like that as he then like spins the trident, shoots it back out.
ooh.
But this time only the middle prong activates as you see like this little bit of flare,
Mhm.
and then it just full on grows into an arrow
Nice.
straight into his chest.
Dirty.
How much damage does that do?
Firebolt is a 1d10.
Mhm.
So let me roll my d10 for a natural 10.
Nice. Alright.
What was that, 23 points of damage on
Mhm.
1 round? Yeah. I'm going to move up a little closer now that I got his attention. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Mhm.
And I'll stop right there. Taking the charge.
Okay.
He kind of like picks up the shield, and starts running at it.
Very nice. Alright. So, after that, it's the Chimera's turn. You can see the lion kind of channel and like roar as radiant energy kind of surrounds it. And it does a thing that works critically, and unfortunately that means that it heals Roll again. 24 points of damage. So, I'm sorry, Giannis, on that one. That sucks.
It's okay. I still put some on.
You
it.
said 24?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm down to 7.
No, you don't take any
he
damage.
heals.
He heals.
24.
gosh.
Basically negated all the damage you did.
I was
No, he did more than the damage.
Yeah, he healed back, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Critically.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. He healed.
It was a waste of those 2 points, but it's alright. It's alright. It's worth the cause.
Well, you could think of it as a waste, but he would have healed it anyway, and if he didn't do the damage, then he would have. So it's still you still have to do damage.
Also, Des still put some points on the board.
Mhm.
I thought they were bolts.
Bless you. Do it in your
Now it's not the
soundest
time to
voice.
be pedantic, to be
I
honest.
thought they were bolts.
There we go.
Alright.
I thought you had more spells.
Now, it is also going to attack Giannis.
This one's for
Because he is the closest thing there.
Here we
So
go. Here's the pain.
here comes the pain. Yeah, here comes the pain. Well, here comes the pain.
Well, I'm in danger.
Alright.
Come back, big bro.
One of its
Come
attacks.
back to me, bro.
He'll use one of its attacks.
Come back to me.
9 plus 7, 16 to hit. on
18
Giannis.
AC.
Okay. So it'll take a swing at you, and then it'll just kind of like you kind of like hold it off with its shield, and you push it off. And as you do that,
Thank you, conch shell.
you see the dragon head kind of like looks like it's trying to breathe in and like breathe out a breath weapon.
Ooh, I don't like
Yeah. So I'm going to need.
Des made the right call.
Let me see.
that. Des runs. I go, yeah, let's go into it.
Everyone except for Dez and is this Audie?
Yeah.
So everyone except for Dez and Audie make a dexterity
Oh.
saving throw.
Alright, I got this. That was a good roll.
Yeah, it was.
You don't have to run away.
Can I use luck on saves? I can't remember. Sorry.
I believe so.
Each one A be an attack, ability check, or saving throw. I'm gonna use a luck point just in case.
Okay.
Nope, I'm gonna take the first one. Is 11.
Okay, 11's not going to make it.
Yep, that's what I figured. Could have been a 2.
21 will do it.
I'm Addie.
That's right, you're Addie. And then Dez is not there either. Okay, so that's right. Alright, so Addie's not there. Unfortunately, all 3 of the Dragonborn lieutenants fail, as well as
Not my
Giannis.
boyfriend.
Yeah, they all fail their dexterity saving throws and are now trapped in a bubble.
Oh, Lord.
A
Giannis
cute,
likes bubbles. This is
adorable
that.
bubble or an acid bubble?
They're trapped in a bubble. They just seem to be like you can see them kind of like,
The COVID edition.
and it just
of
doesn't
Chimera.
seem to be working.
Oh no.
Well, this can only
Is
end
it the
perfectly.
bubble I think it is?
Are you thinking it looks resilient sphere?
All I can think about
Addie's
is
not.
wave of the arc on the Land of Waves and the bubble that Kakashi's in watching Naruto and Sasuke figure out
Oh,
how to beat
fuck,
Zabuza,
yeah.
and he's just like,
Water sphere, yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, Zabuza. Good days.
Okay. So, what's going to happen is that's the end of the Chimera's turn because it took 3 actions, 1 for each head.
I'm still at full health. I'm good. I'm good.
And now, after that is Ace's turn, who will try to break the bubble. And he will fail, unfortunately. So you see him like take his weapon and kind of like try and whack it against the bubble and just kind of like boom. And he kind of like looks shocked and like, how did that not work with the bubble? And as he's kind of looking at his weapon in disbelief, it's Whisper's turn.
I'm gonna become a giant woman.
Awesome.
Giant woman.
Giant woman.
Walking
down the library, giant woman.
Alright, so we're gonna embiggen.
In the biggin.
Begin.
Alright, so you are embiggened.
And I'm gonna breach that next 5 feet to get up and close and
You
personal
almost caught that.
and stab.
Alright. Make a stab check.
Dagger, dagger, dagger.
Dagger, dagger, dagger.
No,
Giant massive sword.
that was a really bad roll. Okay, in the off chance that a fucking 8 hits,
It unfortunately does not.
Hold on, let me grab my pen.
Whisper needs to take lucky.
I'm gonna action surge
Okay.
and stab it again.
Okay.
Stab it for the first time.
Stab at it again. And that one works, okay?
Yeah.
That is a 23!
23. That 23 will hit.
Good. And since I'm in Big End, I do an extra 1d6. I'm gonna use this one. And it's 1d8. So
Seven.
that is 7 plus 4, 11.
11 damage.
11 damage,
7-11.
which sucks that I used my action surge and only did 11 damage, but at least I did something.
Down to
I am in Big End.
that.
You see, you do 23 and you heal 24.
Hey, AC 28. Good luck, assholes.
Yeah, it's double proficiency.
Doubly proficient.
All right. So you did that. You did the action serve. You moved up. Did you want to do anything else?
No, I'm out of it. I'm
Okay.
out.
That's all she wrote.
That's all I wrote.
All right. In
I
which
don't
case,
have extra attack yet.
both of the other Dragonborn, Korast and Yasadi, will try and escape. One fails. The other rolls a 1. Okay.
That's a success.
Let's get away.
No, it's not. Can't say that it is.
We're not playing golf.
And that
If
brings
only
us
we were the
down
natural
to
ones.
initiative count 0, which is Adi.
Oh, I'm gonna growl threateningly and cast command and tell it to submit.
We can example the ground.
No.
Please.
Y'all are welcome to do anything.
All right, your
What
spell
you think
does
Addie
go off.
sounds like.
Your spell goes off. What is the?
Submit.
I'm making a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
It rolled a
I should probably know what my DC is.
15.
Wow, it saves.
Ah,
Damn.
was it like a barely save?
You also got cutting.
All right, so you can see it kind of like its knees buckle just like a second until he's like, wait a second, and then like the goat head headbutts the lion head, and they kind of like growl at each other, like, oh no, and then they look back at you.
For sure.
Damn it, Chi-Chi.
Yeah. Well, that's my turn.
Maybe it's like Fluffy from Harry Potter and we gotta play music.
I mean, so how are we doing multiple
That's a
spells
straight
in this game? I forget.
What?
You can do multiple spells if you have the ability to
Cantrip.
do more than one action. However, it can only be a cantrip. So you can't do 2 actual spells. It has to be a spell and a cantrip.
Right. So I did a level 1 at cantrip. That's what I did.
Fair.
I feel so bad that I just like,
No.
critical heal. Like, okay.
Nope.
Oh,
That's it.
That's alright.
I'll sit over here.
Not
It was
all
a
of us
good.
can
It was a good try.
No, I don't growl. I can't growl.
Listen, for level 3, doing 11 damage is pretty good. If I didn't say so myself.
Level what?
Whatever
4.
level you are.
Oh, 4.
But
I hope
not
you're
level.
I hope you're level 4.
Not level enough for extra attack. That's what I am.
No, that's fair.
Cry.
If I was close enough, I'd clap you on the back and tell you you're amazing.
She gave me the clap.
That resets the initiative to Dez, obviously. Why am I looking at it?
So Dez is gonna move perpendicular to the Chimera.
Oh, you're gonna do some geometry? Okay.
Geometric
what's
term
going on?
here.
Yeah.
Alright.
So if you could position me 30 feet away, but perpendicular,
Perps.
just as far, if that's north,
Uh-huh.
as far north as I can get, but like in range of 30 feet.
Okay, I see.
Theoretically,
5, 10, 15, 20.
perpendiculars.
Okay, so like
Let's
Oh,
see.
this?
My move speed is
Parallel
30.
it's like this? 5,
That
10,
color.
15, 20, 25,
Right?
30.
It's
Yeah.
a line in line.
Is your
And then I'm
line-
within 30 feet.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you're within 30 feet.
Oh, just
Of
a sec.
the Chimera?
Oh.
You have the Chimera.
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. Cool.
5,
Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 25. So like right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, what?
We did it. We made it.
What head am I facing towards?
The closest one to you is the goat head.
I always hated
Because
goats.
from left to right it goes goat, dragon, goat, lion, dragon.
Hey DM, I have a question.
Yes.
If you're getting attacked by one head,
Mhm.
but not another head, and say someone were to redirect the attack to a different attacker, would a different head count as a different attacker?
The Chimera counts as one attacker.
Okay.
The heads are just kind of like a representation of the fact that it gets 3 attacks.
More of a DID, social identity disorder.
Yeah, but like if you do a ability that does, hey, you person, you have to attack me, that applies to all 3 heads.
Okay.
Okay.
It was more, my favorite rune.
Can you
But it's okay.
Oh, you wanted to make it attack itself.
Could you-
cannot do that,
I
unfortunately.
cannot
can you
do that.
target a specific head or no?
You could, sure.
Okay.
I'll allow that.
Was that
Just curious.
okay?
If you want to do something like specific, just let me know and
Okay.
I'll work it
Yeah.
into the narrative.
Okay.
Basically, what that boiled down to is if the Chimera attacks you with something Daunticon, I can't redirect it to an enemy.
That's fine. This is fine. I do want to use 1 poison bolt.
Okay.
So, one of these will be a poison bolt.
Nice.
I'm just gonna cock it and be like, "This is for you, you son of a bitch."
Does it do extra damage or does it just apply poison?
Well, let me see. Actually, I forgot to check. 1d6 poison damage.
Okay.
Does it also apply poison?
I think it is instead of so 1d6 poison damage. I think that's instead of the.
Applying poison.
But no, it does also apply poison if you
The
fail it.
DC save.
And if okay, that
Constitution save.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Okay. Rolling dice. No dice.
Aw.
Sucks. Okay, so we got an 11, and we got a natural 1.
Reroll the natural 1.
We all know how this goes.
Theoretically, is that flanking? Even though he's ranged.
You can't flank with ranged.
Okay.
7.
So, alright, you're fine.
Yes.
It's just a miss. It just kind of like misfires a little bit and the bolt flies away.
My shield goes.
Yeah. So mark off 1 poison bolt from your inventory.
You see Jonas go,
There's more.
yeah, instead of, oh, it's, where is it?
Okay. So that's your movement and action, and bonus action for the second one.
Actually, it's not my bonus. Well, there's not really much I can do with bonus action.
I'm shocked that your second attack with your crossbow isn't considered a bonus action.
Yeah,
Sorry, that is the bonus.
Okay,
I
that's what I
say,
thought.
that is the
Okay.
bonus.
because you don't have double attack yet.
Yeah.
Well, because what would normally be like a free action would be if there's somebody within 5 feet. So I'm used to attacking 3 times.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You usually have a thing. Because I usually throw hordes of enemies at you, and now you're just fighting 1 Chimera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Alright, in that case, it's Giannis' turn.
All right. This time I'm up close and personal, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack.
Yeah, you are like
Yeah.
snout to face with the lion.
Spell will be disadvantage, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my trident to attack here.
Okay.
Now, is this considered flanking because there's 2 of us on it? Because they're enlarged, they're technically 2 close space?
No, because you're not
On
flanking.
opposite
You're not
sides?
actually
Okay.
flanking it.
We're
They're
just
just-
out teaming.
Yeah, there's just 2 of you in front of it.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and use a second luck point.
Okay.
That's better. 13 plus 5 is 18.
That'll do it.
Okay. Cool. So 1d8, the 1d6 because I have a shield in hand. So it's not versatile. That's not bad. 5 plus 3 is 8 damage there.
Okay. And that's piercing?
Yeah, it's piercing for that. Yeah. Does it seem to take the full damage, or does it seem to have some type of not as hurt from it?
From you, well, you can make a investigation check.
Investigation. 12 plus 1, 13.
You can't tell.
It's not too biased.
And you said how much damage?
That was 8, 5 plus 3.
Okay.
Let me see if I have any bonus actions. No, I don't. So that will end my turn. I'll stay right there.
Okay.
I use my second luck point.
Okay. Which means it's Chi-Chi's turn.
Chi-Chi!
The goat head kind of bleats, and you kind of like hear it as it goes from like the high pitched bleat of a goat into like kind of like, and it just kind of like falls off in like this deep gravelly voice. Yeah, essentially.
Des gets like
And you can see like the horn, like his horns that are kind of like geode and like rocky, kind of like that kind of texture kind of spreads along the rest of its body. And so you like it's kind of like craggly and like earthen almost.
Become agate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Des hates this.
And so you see it like as and now like as it's moving, you can see like little bits of dirt and like little bit and like little like crumbling bits like kind of fall off of it as it moves.
Kinky.
You can hear some of the librarians like, "Oh, it's gonna make a mess."
I think that's the least of your problems. Come on. Seriously?
Ah. Okay.
Des is just gonna yell out without looking at them. It's getting handled.
All right. After the bleeding of the goat, the lion will kind of make it roars because it's a lion and that's what it does. I need everyone within 20 feet of it to make a Constitution saving throw. So that's going to be.
I have good Constitution.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Wait, what is this? 5, 10, 15, 20. Alright, so these 4 people. That's going to be
Me.
Whisper, Giannis, or 5 people. Adi, Ace, and Yasadi.
Okay. 15 for me.
15?
8.
Oh, what?
Actually,
Constitution.
I'm going to hold on. No, it's a bonus action. Shit.
11.
My reaction.
11?
I have my frost rune I can activate as a bonus action to get +2 to Constitution, but I rolled an 8.
You
so.
can't use your bonus action right now.
No, I know. That's why I'm complaining.
Alright, so
I rolled an 8.
15.
15, you passed. 8 did not pass.
Yeah.
11.
11 did not pass.
Nope.
And Des is not in range.
Oh, I hate to be the retconner, but I was in a bubble. Should I not have been able to attack?
Yes.
Okay, so give back 8 damage.
Okay. Let me do a magical effect for the people who are in a bubble because that is a little bit my fault for not doing that. Where's magical effect?
I can't wait to know what happens to me.
Everyone who failed that particular Constitution saving throw is blinded.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm good.
What does that do?
It means you can't see the people
Means
you
you're
want to
blinded.
cast spells at.
Yeah. Disadvantage, right? On attacks?
Okay, can you put a little modifier on me too so I don't
Yeah, I
forget?
will.
Because I'm on drink 3 and you know I'll
I
forget.
want to say it's the black ring, but I could be wrong.
Magical effect
Look at that.
Black.
No, the blinded is black,
Oh,
which makes sense. All right, so who failed?
you're
I'm
gonna
good.
put black on giant woman.
Giant woman,
And me.
and but not Giannis.
Not so giant orc.
Ace do okay?
Who?
Did Ace do okay?
Ace it passed his blinded check, but he's still stuck in a bubble, unfortunately.
Okay.
And Yasadi is now stuck in a bubble and blinded, so she's pissed.
Yeah.
As she kind of always seems to be honest.
Relatable.
Where's the...
Should be like a magical effect one, but you do physical effect too.
Yeah,
I feel like it's pink.
it is pink.
It is pink. Yeah, good call.
I don't know how
Y'all are on the ball right now.
Good call.
I don't know how
On
I
the
do that.
bubble.
Alright, so bubble on you, bubble on
On me, yeah.
you.
Every time I
But
do
as
shit
much
like
as you
this,
couldn't
I think
attack,
about
should you
that
roll
one
to
time.
pop it?
Oh yeah, could
Yeah,
I do
you
that?
can go ahead and roll this.
You are covered in a Michael
D20.
Bublé.
Yeah, roll a strength check.
Straight. Okay.
Grapefruit.
It's a dense buble.
I could use my final luck.
You could.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's use the final luck.
Fuck it.
It's not much fucking better. 9 plus 3 is a 12.
Unfortunately not.
Athletics would be a +5, but I don't. I think it's
It's not an athletics check, unfortunately. It's just a strength
So I
check.
use my last luck.
You're a paladin and your strength check is only 2?
I'm a 16 strength. So 9 plus 3 is 12.
Paladins don't have
you're
proficiency.
sorcerer first.
Yeah.
Well, I'm paladin
You're
first
paladin first.
with sorcerer 3 levels. So 1 level paladin and then 3 levels sorcerer.
I don't know. Whenever I play Sam, all of my checks are way high.
That's because you're a high level paladin, which means that you get a bonus to your charisma to all of your checks. I don't think he's quite there
is that
yet.
a level thing? I
Yeah.
see.
I think you get that as a part of your leveling up thing as a paladin.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
and it's really good. Anyway,
It's fucking great.
so did the stun, and now I'm gonna count that as a breath weapon, so that needs to be recharged. Does not recharge, okay. Which means that he'll just attack the blinded giant woman, which I believe means he gets a advantage on you because you're blinded.
Hold on. Let me see
Should be
what
alright.
my...
Creature's attack rolls has the. Oh no, it does. I don't get
It's
advantage.
against them.
You just get disadvantage on attack.
No. Attack rolls against the creature has advantage. Yep, I
Oh,
do.
that's pretty cool. That's a cool effect.
But another creature uses a melee attack, use reaction to add AC. I need to make sure it's not that I can see.
Mm-hmm.
But give me 1 second to check that.
Which feat is that one? That's
Defensive duelist.
cool.
Okay, go ahead. It is going to be.
Call me Michael Bublé. I'm gonna bubble.
Fair.
It's going to
Okay.
be 21 to hit.
Oh, well, even if I get defensive duelist, that hits.
Okay, all right. That's what I figured.
You're gonna help you out there.
All right. So let's do.
But I'm going to check for posterity.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't
For
do
the
anything.
future.
It doesn't say I have to see it.
You know, either way, the dragon one kind of like comes across and kind of like bites onto your arm. It kind of like crunches through your armor.
Ugh.
You take 9 damage.
9 damage? Okay.
Piercing damage specifically.
25.
And with that, that's the end of its turn, which means that up next is Ace, who's going to again try and escape his bubble. He's not.
You can
he didn't-
silence me. You can do it.
No, that's not gonna do it. Like he like stabs his greatsword like through the bubble, and like you can see it like reach out of the bubble, like as it extends like a good foot, and then pops back in, and he fucking falls on his ass.
Woof.
There's a lot of surface tension in these bubbles.
It's almost
Yeah.
like it's magic.
Said not Addie.
Yeah, she doesn't have surface
Definitely
tension.
not.
I mean,
7
even Whisper wouldn't
intelligence
say that because Whisper's intelligence is I don't know, 15.
She's smart. She would know
She's
surface
pretty
tension.
smart. I don't know why I thought her intelligence was but
'Cause
it's
you're
her
playing-
wisdom is her charisma.
Because you're playing her like oh boom boom.
I'm playing
All I
her
know
like
is-
legally blonde.
Yeah, oh, that's
Water.
true. That's fair enough.
That's fair. That's fair.
May I have the opalite?
You may
Also, it's your
have
turn.
the opalite.
I
It's
know.
your turn. Yeah. Okay.
So with disadvantage,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to attempt to stab.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Well, it would have been great.
Oh, disadvantage. It's like, hey, with advantage, that's pretty good, yo.
So
You get to
Find a
make
page.
you can at the end of your turn you get a chance to shake off the blindness. But It's at the
Okay.
end of your turn.
15.
A 15 will do it. It's big. Actually, wait. I'm sorry. A 15 to hit.
Isn't it the attacker when I'm in a tie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, because he now has stone skin, it's not enough anymore.
Ah. That's
I
stone.
knew that was fucking stone.
Actually, no.
skin.
Stone skin is resistant to damage, so you still hit. He just has resistant to damage.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
He's rock hard right now.
Yeah.
So 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 4 another 11 cut in half. That's 5.
It's 5 damage. Yes, his skin turned to stone. Stone skin.
And you know, since I had to do a Constitution save and that was annoying, I am gonna go ahead and activate my Ice Rune just so that I get a little bit of a boost to my Constitution and Strength saving throws.
Okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Then make a Constitution saving throw.
Killer Frost.
Constitution saving throw with +2.
And you don't even have disadvantage for this.
It's really good.
It's an 11. I should have rolled the opalite.
Unfortunate. Alright, after Whisper is Koros, who I believe is still trapped, even though I didn't put the freaking magical thing on him.
I think it's only so many magical effects. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's why. That is exactly why. But I'm gonna put physical
Ooh,
effects.
that's pretty.
It matches very well with his representative model.
That little laugh.
He'll make a
Right there,
strength
lilac,
check.
whatever that is.
And he's very much regretting that his strength is his dump set as he barely fails it.
Woof.
Yeah. His Dottie will try and get out of hers. She'll also fail. I'm rolling like garbage.
Garbadar.
You're rolling like garbage with our allies and rolling like DK Donkey Kong for everything else.
Actually, most of the things that the Chimera has done to you has been saving throws.
Healing.
The healing was
good
yeah,
one.
it was
That's a
pretty
good
You
good.
got a crit heal, okay? Don't
Yeah,
talk to
hey,
me like
hey,
you're rolling
no,
like
hey.
garbage.
I like it. It's good.
It's fun, but it's
Anyway,
factually
I've got my second character
inaccurate.
ready. Don't you worry.
It's on turn.
I don't have a second character. Actually, I do, but I don't.
It's the
Like,
one you and I
haven't
talked
rolled-
about.
I haven't rolled for it, but I know what it is.
Okay.
I will punish you if you kill this
Wait.
bird.
Okay.
You know.
If it
Look in my
happens.
eye. You know who I have in mind.
Sure.
I'm a very, very angrily and blindly run in a straight line in the direction I knew it was in
Okay.
before.
Awesome.
Right?
Love
yeah, Sure.
I love it. Let's go.
And
But
I'm,
do
you're
you
no longer
run
blinded.
into it?
I'm
you're
gonna use.
You're no longer blind. Oh, the 15.
Oh no, you didn't succeed, did you?
Yeah, that's right. I
She's-
didn't
You didn't.
succeed.
You didn't
Still
succeed.
blind.
Yeah, you're still blind.
I rolled an 11.
That's right.
I'm
I keep thinking of the 15.
Yeah, which is the attack. Yeah.
That
I'm
was
a-
my attack.
go ahead and cast Punishing Strike. I'm gonna call on
Ooh,
Grooms
okay.
to
Let's see how it goes.
because I don't want to hurt anyone,
Here's what
but
could,
Grooms does.
what could go wrong?
There's a very
Are you
very.
half orc or regular full orc?
I am an orc, a full orc.
Okay.
That's how she knew how to help Mikey with his
Shit.
work building.
Okay.
Shit. I doubt that I hit with a 10, 9.
Well, here's the problem.
Like posh action.
Unfortunately, it doesn't quite matter
Yes.
because through the unshackling, your spell.
Well, actually,
What?
if
Yeah, okay.
if I don't hit with the punch, I'm not sure the spell casts.
Are you cleric?
Oh no,
Divine
it
Smite?
happens whether.
No, punishing strike. I don't.
Those strikes and smites, the effect only happens.
It's only
when
if you hit it with your attack.
Oh,
That's
but you rolled
true.
it the one
However,
time,
you never
right.
cast that spell because
Right.
your spell instead does something else.
Right.
Okay, fair.
Right.
I punch my fist and do something.
Well,
You do nothing.
some energy does come through your hand, and like it's kind of like your punch comes out, and like instead of the punishing smite that you're looking for, instead it kind of like shifts, and like a prismatic kind of fist comes out of your hand, and just kind of like punches the dragon right in the face, and it's the it is now that particular thing is now confused. So that'll be an interesting.
Prismatic big beast.
I'm comfortable with that.
Essentially, yeah, it's a prismatic spray kind of thing.
I'm
Where it is
perfectly
now
comfortable
confused.
with that.
So we'll see how that plays out. That'll be fun.
Whack.
I love
Of course,
Untrackling.
I don't know this.
No, all you
all.
know is that you tried to do a thing,
Punch it with
and
my
you,
fist and it didn't quite hit.
you hit him with a really gay fist, and now it's kind of like angry.
Like, you know, in a good way.
Homo sex fist. Anyway, it is this.
I'm
I was
very
gonna
good
tell-
with my hands.
Just say, I was gonna tell Addie
and
to
other
like,
bits.
move out of the way, or like, kind of try to get her to.
That
Jump-
cannot
jump.
real London. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Southern, yeah.
You gotta be southern.
What's
Wow.
the sentence you say to get in a southern accent?
Like,
Oh, I just
Savannah.
start
I
talking.
think she's gonna like say like, tuck and roll.
Yeah, there we go.
To Addie, like tuck and roll, Addie. And then
For the band.
she's gonna fucking shoot the Chimera with 2 force bolts.
Oh, 2 force bolts.
Yes.
I hope that Chimera is
Okay.
playing.
So
that-
I told Addie to tuck and roll before the end of her turn. Hopefully she tucked and rolled. Tuck and roll. Away from-
well, we're gonna see what happens here because that means that I have to make I believe a strength check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do I need to make a dex check to see if I
We'll find
fucking
out.
rolled?
All right, you did 2 of them.
Yeah, well, you have to see if it even hits first.
No, I don't believe that you need to roll the hit for that. I think you just fire it off and it works. I'm pretty sure that's how I made it
Essentially
work.
magic.
Oh, is that how you made it work?
I made it's like magic missile, but like what happens is you just shoot it in the general vicinity, and then right before it hits the target, it basically just goes in like a shape charge.
Okay,
right now.
so I'm not making a weapon attack. I'm making an
You're
dodge.
making me make a strength check.
Yeah. So I'm not. There's no weapon attack involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so therefore my hunter's mark does not add additional damage to each attack.
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Does a 12 pass?
Nope.
Okay. So what happens?
Wait. So for for each one, did you fail both of them?
No, the first one I got a 23.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. Passed the DC to pass. It was a 15.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Okay.
23 does that.
But I imagine you still take half for the first one, right? Force damage.
Did I say that?
It didn't say it in the text.
I
but-
think the idea was that if it failed, it got thrown backwards and it got damaged from that. So I don't believe it does take. I think it's a save. Either you save it or you don't.
Okay.
But it failed the second one. So what happens?
I move back 10 feet and you take 1d10 force damage.
Okay, so roll 1d10 force damage, and you make a dexterity saving
Because
throw.
you know what Addie's really good at?
Not that.
No. With your
Wait, that one was really bad. Let's roll a totally different dice. The
Oh!
bone dice. Because if there's one thing Addie is good at,
Boning.
it's better than what she's been rolling.
That's not my best roll. That's actually.
But with a -2, it's an 8.
That's not gonna do it.
And that.
it only
What?
takes 2 force damage.
Okay, so it takes 2 force
A
damage
whopping 2.
and flies backwards or
Onto
sideways
Eddie.
into Adi, who also takes 2 force damage.
It does say it also falls prone.
Oh, and it's prone. Okay,
Cool. That's a good effect. right there.
interesting.
Does
On
that
Addie?
negate my disadvantage?
Yes.
Yeah, if
However,
if
you're not
really
next to it
attacking.
at the moment.
Fuck. I have
Because-
to move towards it while blinded.
Yes.
Yeah, I did
Shit.
it. I did
Which I'm going to make you make an insight check to do.
That's fine. I'll do it. I don't know what my insight score is, but I'll do it.
Okay, so it falls sideways
Oh my god. I
onto
am
the
proficient in insight.
and
Can
like
I
you see,
shout-
the dragon head kind of like looks at the ground as it smashes
If
into it.
I shout really loudly in pain, does that give her advantage on her insight check?
No.
Ugh.
Because all that tells her is that you got hit by something.
The one thing we're attacking.
I'm so glad it's insight. I'm proficient.
Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm not going to give you
17.
advantage for that, unfortunately. Is there a
17.
prone with this?
Yeah, it
Okay,
should be.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh wait, I have to let Ace go first. Ace goes before me. But I'm gonna keep rolling it in my hand.
I don't see a
for luck.
prone.
And
Well, I'll
for
show you
Obi-Wan
that's prone.
Kenobi. Here, put your fingers. Yeah, it's gonna happen now.
Alright, so that was Des. Anything else you want to do? You want to move up into 30 feet again?
No, I'll stay where I am for now.
Okay. Mark down 2 force bolts off of your inventory.
I did.
Okay. So you just like it's just funny because you just see like the 2 force bolts. Is like the goat head kind of like looks at it and goes, and then another one hits it and it just flies backwards.
Right in the gullet.
In that case, it's Giannis's turn.
You gotta roll your thing. Or...
No, I have to wait to move on my turn.
Oh, okay. But it's prone right now,
It is currently prone.
and I'm still technically next
You're
to
in a
it.
bubble.
You
You're in a
are in a
bubble.
bubble.
Get out of your bubble.
So
Oh wait, can I roll to end blindness because it's the end of my turn?
absolutely you can.
Sweet.
Is it the end of my turn I roll for the bubble thing? Or okay.
Well, for the bubble, you do it just as an action.
Okay.
It's the blinded that is the end of turn.
Listen, it's because you didn't calibrate your dice.
Apparently, that's an 8.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it.
All right. I'm gonna
Freaking frack.
break the bubble.
Okay.
You take your d20s and you roll a 1 and then a 20.
I got my own.
Or a 20 and then a 1. You gotta roll 1 of each.
Just gotta get rid of all the
What
bad
is it?
dice.
Strength.
Yeah.
Check. Right.
Yes.
14 plus 3, 17.
That'll do it. All right. So you pop the bubble with your trident, and you just kind of like fall like the half a foot onto your feet. You're like, okay.
Nothing good.
All right.
I use my
fun?
sorcery points, so I
That
have
is-
1 sorcery point left. Yeah.
And then you are technically still in combat with it.
Yeah, but I use my action. So. I am going to, while staying next to it,
Mhm.
5, 10, 15, 20. Get that flanking bonus, people.
Okay.
Smart.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay.
So like as it's kind of like on its back, kind of flailing around, you kind of
That kind
like,
of
you
circle
duck
around
under
it.
its the flailing arms and its tail, and like right now because you did that force bolt, the books and shelf that it was next to have been flown sideways. So there's now just like a shelf overturned. And there's books flying everywhere. And they're still kind of settling as Giannis kind of puts himself right in the flank of the Chimera. Which means it is now Chi-Chi's turn.
Chi-Chi. Don't hurt me.
I'm ready to get Enema when everybody's ready.
Ready to what?
Enema. Behind it.
Please. Oh, terrible. Terrible, awful, very bad thing. Alright, I'm going to roll to recharge its breath weapon.
Well.
It does so recharge. It's going to use half of its movement speed to get up off of its
Flank.
ass and then they will do that. It's no longer prone.
What?
It's standing up.
Yeah, it just stands up.
Fucking
I thought you meant to get away from us.
Yeah, and it's also
Real Slim City stood up.
Real Slim Shady fucking stood up!
I thought it wanted to run away.
it does not want to run away quite yet.
I got an idea.
But it is going to kind of sorry. Okay. It is going to once again use the lion is going to roar and try and heal itself. I have this right here. Okay, thank you. Alright, goes off normally. Heal itself for 6 health. Not the greatest roll on that one.
I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
I'll take it.
6.
That just negated my stab with resistance, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's a pretty sturdy little thing. Alright. It will use the goat breath weapon. That's going to be a cone over here. Like so, these 4 are going to take a dexterity saving throw.
Save. Okay. That's you again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use the opalite.
Nice.
Do it. I believe in you.
Oh? You said dexterity?
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have a negative too.
That's an 18.
Damn it. I mean, yeah. That's so close.
Alright. That's
Listen, it surpassed 17, and therefore it's a win.
Therefore, it's a win. The 20 is just staring me in the face.
That
I know.
non-negative modifier.
Which means you
is
take-
Really useful.
It's my top modifier, okay?
Alright, so that means you take half of 9 damage, which is 4. So take
Fair
4.
damage.
So take 4 bludgeoning damage as like just a bunch of rocks are thrown into your face.
Ow.
Which means
There was one thing I
It's
wanted
fine.
to be able to
Mostly
breathe
no.
out of my mouth.
It's
It was
actually true.
rocks.
Yeah. You're like Dragon Colossus.
that means that
Yeah.
fortunately
And you're silver too, so it has the aesthetic too.
Alright, let me put down these. Assyrian did succeed at his thing, even though for some reason the things go through the bubble and don't break it. So that's,
He's confused though, right?
he is confused. However, he was able to do what he wanted to do this turn.
Confusion.
He was unfortunately able to be confused for a moment.
But it's also the fact that like even if he was confused, that kind of like loses him 1 or 2 things that he can do, even if at the best of times, and he still gets 3 attacks. So
Like
like
when you're tipsy, you can still get something right.
yeah. And then the dragon head will attack Audie because she's right there.
That sucks.
Double 9. Interesting. 9 plus 7 is 16, which I do not believe hits
No,
you.
it doesn't, because I have my shield and shit.
Alright, so like you can
9,
see
9.
its claws kind of like wrap around the shield as its fangs kind of like go around it, but it can't quite get at you, and you just kind of shove it off.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary to think about.
Right?
That it's that big.
Yes. Hi.
Alright, And after that, it's Ace's turn, who will once again try his very best to get the fuck out of that thing. All right, he does it. He was able to get out that time. All right, so he pops out.
He thought about you.
Yeah. It's about me.
Yeah, it was all about Whisper.
The sound whisper.
And she's going,
He'll use his bonus action to activate his Boots of Haste.
yeah, you will.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do.
All those boots in haste.
Yeah, you felt those, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
You tried them on.
All right, calm down.
Listen, he loved it when I tried him on.
Just rush up,
You ever seen Gone in 60 Seconds?
which means he gets another attack because haste is broken. Rushes up, takes his big old freaking greatsword, and just kind of like clank. You just kind of see his face like
I wish I could see it.
it does. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, you're blinded, unfortunately.
So, Dez is gonna call out, "This ain't the time to have performance anxiety."
And that thing is flanked now, right?
Yeah. He has no response to that. He's
Wait,
just
flank
as frustrated
advantage?
as everyone else. Like, what the fuck is wrong with my sword?
Did you roll advantage? Oh.
Performance anxiety.
He rolled. To be fair, he rolled a 6 and a 9. So, is it performance anxiety or is it just irony?
Is it just nice?
It's just nice.
Sometimes
just
the gods speak.
It's just nice. Anyway, Whisper is after Ace.
Dionysus had his hands in that one.
Alright. Insight to walk towards my enemy.
Excellent.
Yeah. You walking or you crawling?
Wait, what? Is that a 1?
Or
Oh. It looked like a 1 from here.
It's a fantastic.
7 a little bit.
7 will not do it.
7.
So you do not know where it is and therefore cannot move toward it accurately.
Oh, wait, there's no wind in the library.
So you can move. You can go to where you think it last was, but unfortunately that is directly in front of you. As in, like, directly in front of you.
You just make a slash out of shit.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Sorry, y'all.
Do you run forward?
What would your character do?
Would she run forward?
She would run forward.
What would
Okay.
Whisper do?
But only like 15 feet before
Yeah.
she's like, wait.
Yeah, that's fine. You have 15 intelligence. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so move her up 15 feet.
Okay.
And then she's gonna stop and be like,
5, 10, 15.
what?
And she'd be like, where isn't there a giant, weird goat, dragon, lion here? And just kind of like be confused for a
And
second.
she stabs at nothing, and she's like,
Yeah. So you step forward and stab forward, and unfortunately that does take your action, and you are unsuccessful in attacking it.
and I don't have magic, so that's all I got.
You
Well,
killed.
you've got some magic, but nothing that can help you in this particular situation.
I've got a breath weapon,
You do have a breath
but
weapon.
that's it. That's
Sure.
all the magic I have.
Okay.
Other
the-
than Cloud Rune, which is useless.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, it is.
To make a Constitution saving throw.
Woo! Okay.
How long do you have the +2?
10 minutes.
Oh,
shit,
Jesus.
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
Do I do pink or do I do opalite? Because opalite just failed me.
Mm.
I have to calibrate it.
Oh. When's it calibrated? How you know?
You
The-
roll a 1 and you roll a 20.
Yeah,
Just
the
use the bone dice.
I have to calibrate it.
Why?
No,
it's
no, no.
always calibrated.
That's-
It's the bone dice.
the bone down dice.
Bone!
Alright, just use the opalite.
Yeah,
The bone dice is always
let's
good.
not
Trust
go
Opal.
about
That was a
Why
bad
the fuck did you
decision.
trust Opal?
that,
You told me to. You told me
See, what you don't know is John already
That's a
calibrated all his.
15.
Oh!
yeah. It's a what?
He just rolled a 20 on my
I
penis.
saw that, yeah.
They didn't see it.
I-
But now they know.
We're aware now.
He just rolled a natural 20 on my shit.
What did you roll for your Constitution saving
It was a
throw?
15.
Well, then you got it.
Hey,
The DC was 15.
look at that.
Bet.
So you're no longer blinded.
Fuck yeah.
So you you charge forward, and you're like, what the heck? And then you kind of like rub your eyes, and you look forward, and you just kind of look to your left, like, oh, okay.
But you still thick.
Do you say, oh, okay, are you really pissed about that?
No, she's like, okay. So she rubs her eyes, and she doesn't do it with her forearm because it's metal.
Mhm.
But she kind of just really vigorously, like,
Tennis.
there's not really any,
Oh, I thought
there's no
you,
surface that isn't
Alright.
steel.
So you just have to blink about it.
So she,
I figured you'd have an at-the-ready handkerchief. Just
You just have
oh,
to have
that's
your arm.
fact. And actually, I do, in my personal canon, believe that she's wearing a red scarf around the waist for aesthetic reasons. So it definitely is a wipe, a good scrub. And then she looks up,
A delicate dainty.
Everybody needs a polishing.
looks left. Well, she's frustrated, which is why it's a
Still
scrub.
princess.
Yeah.
And then she looks up, turns left, sees that's where the fucking thing went. And then you see a big icy huff. But she hasn't lost her patience quite yet. She's a lady.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The two other Dragonborn are able to break out of their bubbles.
Yeah. Fuck you, COVID.
God damn it. I just realized I took the blinded off of her, and that's not what I should have done. Blinded goes back onto Yasadi.
No. The Chimera.
Alright, so he'll move forward, and he'll just kind of be there, I guess. Then Yasadi, who will also move forward, and then make a Constitution saving throw so that she can get rid of blinded. She's basically just following the big clanking metal of Whisper at this point. And she succeeds. Okay, so she's no longer blinded either. Fortunately, they do not have extra attacks that they can use, so it is now Audie's turn.
we can't all have these.
Sure.
Audie. We can't all have haste,
see.
yeah.
Let's see.
Only the special boy gets haste.
My special boy.
Only my character, the best character.
Listen, we played Lancer with you. He's the best.
Lexi.
So.
This is my campaign. I'm a big boy. This is my
Oh, did you
campaign.
dig up that mech? Oh. Let me just slap you for it.
I mean, that's what happened.
So I'm gonna angrily punch at it again with
Nice.
punishing strike.
Okay.
Because I can. Let me use this dice right here.
Punishing strike, take 2.
Oh, shit roll.
I mean, the spell does go off this time.
Well,
Does
nothing
it?
happens because I only got a 10.
Mm-hmm.
It was my fucking bonus action. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Shield of Faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't have to see the creature that I cast it on, so I guess whoever's closest to me.
Did you get advantage on your attack?
Did you not cast it
Well,
on
I'm
yourself?
blind.
Yeah.
So it evens out.
Yeah.
Do you not cast it on yourself?
I can.
Oh, small.
Shield of Faith.
Sure, cast it on me.
Okay.
Because I don't know what anybody else is.
It's fair enough.
That's my turn.
Alright,
Roll a Constitution saving throw.
tuck and roll, girl.
You are gonna roll well this time.
Oh my god, I was attacked.
No.
This is trying so
Fuck
hard to
you.
get you to move out.
I get. I'll move back here.
Tuck and roll,
I'll
girl.
move a little bit because you yelled.
Okay. So you're not, but you're only going to move back. You're not going to move out away.
No, because then it attacks me.
Okay, but you,
I'm blind, but I know it's right in front of me, and I'm just gonna shimmy to the side. Because Des told me to.
Now, I can... Because it's going to be my turn.
yes,
I
it
can,
is your turn.
I can hold my turn till after the Chimera.
Do you want to hold your turn, or do you want to ready in action? What do you want to do?
I would like to hold my turn until after Chi-Chi goes.
Okay. In that case, it's John's turn.
And I'm gonna tell Giannis I'm gonna be like, Giannis, like, just be at the ready.
Is it Giannis or Giannis?
Giannis. Oh, sorry. John. Is it Giannis?
It's Giannis. It is
Oh,
not
Giannis.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
My bad. Giannis, like, wait for my signal. Like, Giannis, wait for my signal.
I like how she says Giannis.
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, you know what? I've been saying Giannis as her this whole time. So, Giannis, wait for my signal.
Okay.
And he's gonna basically...
Who's Giannis?
I was waiting for it.
You call him Janus?
His name is Jeans.
Giannis?
Jeans.
So you're trying to tell me to wait my turn, is what you're trying to say?
Yeah, trying to hold your action until after Chi-Chi. Basically after me.
Call him Jim Jam Jamboree.
Okay. I'm going to... Alright, let's do this then. I'll hold my action. I'm holding Witch Bolt.
Are you readying it? What are you trying to do? Because you can't hold a thing. You can ready a thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying
Okay.
to ready it, if that makes sense.
What is your trigger for readying?
You didn't give me any clue what I'm looking for.
I was just saying to, like, wait for my signal to, like... So I just...
Alright,
So
okay.
now let's do this. You're readying Witch Bolt, and which you'll use once you take your turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Great.
Although now I'm thinking about you're trying to knock it prone, aren't you? Yeah. It's okay. I'll still do Witch Bolt because I'm not going to metagame it.
Well, no. What's your character's intelligence?
He is a 13. Wisdom 14. But...
I would say, because he just saw what I did.
It's pretty freaking good.
And I feel like he would know what I'm about to do again when I just told Adi to get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, no. If you think that if your trigger wants to be wait till it's prone, then that's fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Alright, so you passed your turn, you're readying, which means it's Chi-Chi's turn, who has to roll to see if she can overcome her. I don't know why it's a her now. But
Because Chi-Chi
Because it's
is a
adorable.
bimbo name.
It is kind of a bimbo name.
And I mean that in the most respectful way possible, DBZ fans.
100%. There is 100% respect for bimbos here.
alright, that's a 19 to overcome the confusion, which is more than enough.
Also, literally,
She's going
bimbo
to
is the vibe these days.
Roll to see if she recharges her breath weapon.
Mary does love her
Which she does
Himbo
not.
and Hermbo characters.
Alright. Alright, so let's do... she's going to, like, turn around and bite and scratch the people behind her.
You're short. Like you. He just disappeared.
That's a 21 to hit Adi.
Oh no, that does hit.
Okay.
Wait, does it?
21?
Oh, 21.
Oh wait, yes, still hits.
I would hope so.
I forgot about the +2, but that's still 20.
I forgot to tell you about my plus 13 dex.
Yeah, I
Dex
forgot to
doesn't
tell you about the
matter.
burn your character sheet.
Dex doesn't matter to her armor class, thank you
Oh,
very
well.
much.
Good.
So this time, the biting jaws of the dragon does get through your shield, and you take 9 points of piercing damage.
Ass.
Giannis,
Fucking
it'll,
bitch.
the goat will try and headbutt you.
I had a pen.
No, this
Ooh, just barely
Hit
got a
hit.
critical hit, but that's 26 to hit.
26 to hit will just barely hit.
You just barely. Okay, that's good. That's I was very very worried about that. All right.
Were you aware of his cloak of displacement?
That's
That's why I should've used
15
those
bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
Yeah.
Owie!
It's about half my health.
Where's half this
Is that a...
Then he'll attack Ace with a tail attack, which it doesn't technically happen. I'm gonna do it anyway because why not? It critically fails.
Okay, does it fall prone?
I'm rolling to see if it does. No, it's fine. It just misses. So like it just wildly misses, and it like the tail rams into a bookshelf behind Ace, and it falls backwards.
Not the smut section.
Yeah.
Not the smut section!
There's just porn everywhere.
Just
No!
just a rain of smut.
Just porn, like big old tiefling titties. Volume 28 is just flying
Not
under your.
Tiefling titties!
Playing titties.
No!
Porn love.
Porn love.
Teeful bitties.
Tiefle
That ends Chi-Chi's turn, which I assume means you want to take yours.
The return of Chi-Chi.
Alright. You already know what's happening.
Chi-Chi
2
here.
force bolts.
Okay. I don't know what you're rolling for.
Alright. I get very excited, okay?
What'd you roll though, just out of curiosity?
A 16 and a 10, but it would have been a 15 and a 20.
Okay, and I got a 9 and a 16.
Alright, so you at least get hit by 1, so Daz is gonna be like, gotcha! And like, boom!
Alright, so it once again gets hit
Ooh,
10
got
feet
your time.
back.
And he goes prone.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You're up here.
Sure.
Okay.
And it takes 10 force damage!
Hey,
Let's go!
one force damage.
You know what we didn't think about?
Yay!
It's out of my range now. I can throw a turret.
Oh.
It's out of your, how is it out of your range? It's like,
For Witch Bolt?
yeah, I was like,
shit. Which
I was
one?
like, are you kidding me? What are you talking about?
Alright, it is prone.
I would-
Therefore, your attack triggers.
Yeah.
So make a spell attack against a prone target, which means you have
Disadvantage.
You need to
Disadvantage. It's range.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
You need the opalite.
Say what?
You have disadvantage against the prone target
If
when
it's
you're
range.
range attack.
Then why do you still pick Witch Bolt?
I mean, that was his ready to action.
Yeah.
It was either that or he loses his action entirely.
Yep. That's not gonna hit. 11.
That will not hit, unfortunately.
Yes.
Can't metagame too hard. We have to just do what we initially thought.
It was an idea.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the planning. I like that you tried it.
It's still gonna work in the long.
Did it go
It's
off?
gonna pay off in the long run.
Well, that's a good fucking question. I didn't roll.
If somebody can land a
Quick.
fucking attack.
Yeah, you're fine. Without a hitch, as the saying is at the moment.
What ass!
Where are you aiming for?
What do you think I'm aiming for?
I know,
The
like,
two huge targets.
Don't do the don't aim for the
How
back.
would that be this?
Oh no, your face is so beautiful.
Oh, you.
Nice save?
Was it?
No.
Was it though?
I'm trying.
Okay.
We're all just trying to be good friends.
Oh!
That was humongous. It took up my whole left lens.
I heard a distinct clicking.
Yeah, that was like a clack.
What did you throw? Was it a
That was
whole
good, though.
Something. Play stupid games, stupid
It was a
friends.
whole kiss.
Something
Yeah.
stupid.
It was a whole
Somehow,
shit! That's awesome.
somehow every time Nate aims to throw things in my cleavage, it always just gets lost in the abyss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's where it's going. That's its home now.
Yeah, just like, and it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Fucking
forever.
Boba Fett.
And then I
Down
like
with
go to
Sarlacc.
take a shower a day later, and I like find it, and I'm like, oh.
Like, oh. Well, that's dark chocolate now.
Nothing gets chopped.
So, anyways.
Blooper reel.
Anyway, it is now Assyrian's turn. And he's going to just kind of rush up and try and wail on it with his sword, which has been extremely ineffective for him today, which is strange.
Well, luckily, he gets advantage, right?
He does
His
get
sword
advantage.
has been effective at least once today.
Stop. Alright, he does hit once with his greatsword.
After all that,
Yeah, he did.
What?
Yeah, I did.
doesn't each one get advantage?
He still missed one. It's
Oh, I thought he attacked 3 times. I was like, how the fuck did he miss on him?
he hit. He didn't do a lot of damage, but he hit. Especially because it's got stone skin. So you see him, he's just got, you see him like whack, 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 and like little bits of stone are
Fucking
tripping
whackable.
off. Yeah, he's just whacking.
Lord.
He's hacking,
Whacking
whacking, and
Chimera.
slapping.
Hacking, whacking, and slapping.
Alright. Which means it's Whisper's turn. Who's no longer blinded.
I'm moving up,
Is that the crossguard deepens?
and I'm stabbing.
Do you have a 10-foot reach? As a giant woman?
I think you
Do
do
I?
as a big girl. Big
I
gal.
feel like that is the case.
Use protection.
Hit
So
my
close.
face again.
Knock it in.
It hit my my nose.
I know, I threw 2 at the same time.
Wow.
Bonus action.
It doesn't. I don't know. Is that like a large thing? Because
Yeah.
it doesn't specify in Giant's Might. So
It
let
doesn't
me look
specify
in-
that you have a extended reach.
Not in Giant's Might, but I'll look in.
I mean, do you want to push Ace out of the way so you can attack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're dating.
Okay.
Did it land in there?
No,
Just
it's
like,
just
move.
not the noise like that.
Push.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I don't need this one. I'm rolling with my little pink
Just a
baby.
quick.
You turned down the Azurite?
Listen, me and Opalite are fucking
Cat's
calibrated.
eye. The cat's eye is beautiful. Yeah, Opalite's pretty fucking good.
Opalite has my fucking back, baby. That's a 25.
No, it just... Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm afraid you also didn't realize it was partially invisible.
It has been imbued with the elixir of God, and is therefore
God's
vulnerable to
have-
damage forever.
It is a Time Lord now. It actually reverted the clock back to when it healed, and it's amazing.
So that's 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 4 is 12.
So 6 damage. Math. Alright. Well, it does... Is that you can see Koras kind of channeling a spell, and he casts Dispel Magic. And that goes
Well,
away.
fucking dice. What the hell was that?
It's 3 dice.
Okay, I heard a plethora.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Alright.
The
And
intimidation
because
is a
he's
lot
going to
of
cast it, this is 3rd level, and Stone Skin is, I think, level 2. So yeah, he dispels Stone Skin off of the Chimera.
Oh, wait, that's
I'm glad
Hunter's
one of
Mark.
us knows how to do
Oh,
that.
that is Hunter's Mark. You're right. That's fine. So yeah, Korask does that, which means that Yasadi will also tell Ace to get the fuck out of the way.
Get the fuck out of the way, Ace.
Listen, I went, babe, and just gently, just in that way that you like that girlfriends
Slightly
do.
caress.
No. The way that boyfriends do, where they take them by the hips and just gently nudge them to the side.
Oh, see, my head was going to grabs by the nape of his neck, holds him, stabs. Still in.
I nudged
Just like-
him. That's what I would do with Jonas.
Grab him by the nape of the neck.
Yeah, he survived.
Alright.
I think you're taller.
Yasadi will come right as
That's all I
the
did anyway.
right as the enchantment of Stone Skin
5'5",
fades, her giant draconic mace just critical hit crushes the friggin' goat's head. And it does and it does 18 damage.
And heals for 26.
I would totally compliment you on that strike, but I can't see anything.
I'm gonna go.
I know nothing.
Alright, so I'm gonna
She
make it's gonna make a
critically cut off
constitution
a
saving
head?
throw to see if it stays conscious, which it did. So it's fine. And it means it is now Audie's turn.
Oh, sweet. And I know there's a big thing. Is it on the ground next to me or is it standing?
It is prone,
Sweet. Sweet.
so you do have advantage.
It's negated and shit.
So you just roll normally.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my punishing strike punch, because why not?
Okay. And that is a spell, you know?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, you're fine.
It's only a 9. Yeah, calibrate.
With advantage?
I only have.
Oh, so you don't have advantage.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cast another Shield of Faith. I'm gonna cast it on this big other thing that I can feel next to me, so that I can use Voice of Authority.
You're going to cast it on Giannis?
Oh, me?
No, the big bitch that's next to
Okay.
me.
Wow.
Big bitch.
Just because she's thick don't mean I'm not
It's
bitch.
only because it's
Actually,
alliterative,
big bitch.
and because I'm not sure I enjoy her as a
Listen.
person.
She appreciates being called a big bitch.
Okay. Which
And-
means you have Shield of Faith.
And I'm gonna go ahead and use Voice of Authority, so you can use your reaction to attack.
Bet.
Okay.
Attack you! I don't know who you are, because I can't see you, but I ordered you to attack.
Okay. You can use your reaction to attack if you like.
For now?
Would
Yeah, let's
would
go.
would you like to do that?
Yes.
Do I get advantage if it's...
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. I'm flanking that. Oh,
It's also prone. It's prone.
That was a
It doesn't
shitty roll.
Wow.
Hmm.
Is both 8s?
It's still
No,
15.
1 to 9.
matter. It's what?
It's still 15.
15 will hit.
Oh, there we go. Not me being disappointed.
It's
4
also
plus
rough.
4 is 8.
Okay. 8 damage.
We'll go ahead and roll to be not blind.
Yes, go ahead. Constitution.
No more blind. Nope.
You still blind?
Still can't see shit.
So
She's
freaking blind.
like they're super blind. I'm pretty sure.
How long does that last?
You're like the guy from Jurassic
How
Park.
long does it last? A minute, unless you say.
Be like the guy from Jurassic Park trying to wipe out the Dilophosaurus spit.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Actually, I
Ned?
only get to add that 1d6 once per turn,
I don't.
so it's 6 damage. I wasn't supposed to roll that
And
d6.
how many times have I rolled that saving throw so far?
Jeez, God, you fucking.
Listen, I at least corrected
I had the
myself.
arc.
It now has 42 health, which means that it automatically wins because that is the solution to life and everything.
Right over your head.
No, the solution
GG.
to life is 23.
Okay. In any case, it is now Dez's turn.
Dave!
Anyways, I'm gonna hold my turn until after the Chimera because it's a terrible decision to attack a prone beast from a bazillion miles away.
I thought if you deferred, that was officially your like permanent place in the.
I don't know if that's true, but I don't like it either way, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it's basically just like I'm gonna wait like literally a second longer.
It literally is a second, because like this whole round is supposed to be 6 seconds worth of actual real
Be
time.
like, what's it gonna do? Okay, and then
Draw.
yeah. So I'm gonna hold my turn until after after Chi-Chi.
Monster Cado!
Monster.
I don't call out to anybody to wait either. I
Okay.
just wait. I
Okay.
just like
Either way, it's now Jonas' turn.
Alright, so I'm going to Witch Bolt it. But- I'm going to use my bonus action to do my. I can't remember the name for it.
Okay.
It's because I'm a Storm Sorcerer.
Uh-huh.
As a bonus action before or after casting a first level or higher spell, I can fly 10 feet. This movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks nor whirling gusts of air surrounds me. So this I'm just like floating in the air like 10 feet up.
After you cast a spell.
Before or after.
Oh, okay.
So it's my bonus action to do that. So I'm like essentially taking like you see him like take his trident and like stomp the ground as he starts like having like a tornado
Mhm.
wind
Mhm.
resonate him, and he takes that trident and then just shoots out a witch bolt. Going for him.
Boy, are you like coming over here? What are you doing with it?
I'm standing up from here. Witch bolt is distance, so
Well, you're not in. I'm
I'm not trying to flank it or anything like that. I'm just using a spell.
So you're going to try and hit with Witch Bolt again with disadvantage.
It's not prone, is it?
It is prone.
Wait, shit.
It's prone until it gets up.
Okay, I didn't realize it was still prone.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's not. No, it's not prone. It got up. Never
It's
mind.
not prone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
you're,
wait,
you're
a
right. You're
full
right.
round, right?
You're right.
when did it get up?
You get up after on its turn.
Yeah, but it's not its turn yet. Its
It
turn's
was
after.
its turn before. Actually, you're right. It didn't get up from it being prone, so it is still prone. It was just flailing and attacking. So yeah, it's still prone.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for it to get up because everything is around it.
Alright, then
Yeah,
can I,
'cause
instead of doing that, retcon that and just go behind it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So you're
I'll
just gonna
use
burst. You use your 10-foot burst to go behind it, which
Yeah.
doesn't provoke attack opportunity anyway. So it's fine. Which it wouldn't anyway because you're entering its threat. So go ahead.
Okay.
Witch Bolt is still a ranged attack though, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I was use a try attack at that point. And
Yeah,
not,
I would-
and not do my floating thing.
Yeah.
So 11 on the first roll. So 11 plus 5 is 16 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
So that is a d6 plus 3. 6 piercing.
Okay. It's looking really haggard right now. So it's kind of like weakly, kind of like kicking at you and trying to like escape. But it's still prone. Which means that it's now its turn because it goes from you to the Chimera, who will get up and it'll use. It's going to try and recharge its breath attack. It will succeed. The lion is going to try and roar again, and get a large, bright flash. So everyone within 20 feet of it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Do I have to make one if I'm already blind?
No, I guess you wouldn't need to do that.
If we're behind it, we don't have to.
It's no, you
Within
still have
20
to.
feet.
It's a 20 feet sphere.
Radius.
It'd be pretty hard to see a bright flash.
Dez is just a ranged fighter, so
That's fine.
or ranged
And you
ranger.
said Dex?
Ranged.
Constitution.
Arranged her.
I'm sorry about that. But not good enough.
I'm just blind. So.
Blowing is a
13.
13's not quite enough.
Shit!
13. 11 not enough. He's already blind. Ace failed his check.
It's collective.
Dude, aces, yeah.
Yeah. Ace is also Yasadi and Koras do succeed, and they're not blinded. However, the Chimera will, instead of trying to attack, fly 30 feet up.
Ooh,
So
That's
anyone,
opportunity attack,
So it
right?
does get up from prone.
sweet.
yes, it got up from prone. That was the first thing it did.
That is the first thing it did.
Disadvantage on the opportunity attack.
Yes, everyone can make an opportunity attack on it using your reaction if you have it still.
Oh, I did use my reaction.
I'm so good. But I'm disadvantaged because I'm blind now.
But you do have disadvantage on the attack.
Let me just
Is it
read
trying to
about some of
escape?
my
Does
spells.
Dez notice it trying to escape?
Make an insight check.
Use all my luck, too. 11. I missed. I'm just fucking slicing the trident around.
12.
Almost hitting.
12, like period.
Yeah, period.
Yeah, it's definitely
I
trying
hear
to
it tink against my
Yeah.
armor, and I'm like,
Like-
hey.
I'm gonna go ahead and punch at it with punishing strike.
How many of those you got?
It's a cantrip.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Go figure.
Is it for clerics only, or?
I don't think Sam has it, so maybe.
Okay.
And I'm
I
a
almost don't get
warcaster,
any
which is why I can do
cantrips
that.
now.
No, I know.
Now I think about it.
17.
17 will hit.
Yes.
Did you roll disadvantage?
It's not prone, damn it.
Are you blinded? Yeah.
Fuck. Never mind. I don't punch it.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Freaking Brack.
All right. Assyrian will also try and use his reaction to attack it. He rolls a 3. Okay.
Okay.
Ace, you're killing me, buddy. I think that's everybody.
He may have been ace in your hole, but he's not ace in our hole.
Wow.
Was it?
That was
What
bad.
is up?
Listen, as long as he's an ace in my hole, I'm happy.
I don't think Nate liked my joke.
All right. So the Chimera will.
I want to laugh at it. I don't think you understand. I want it to be funny,
The Chimera
but it wasn't.
It wasn't funny.
goes up 30 feet, does its triple bleat roar gurgle,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then
As you do as a Chimera.
it goes up like that, and then starts to fly back this way. So it's right here, but it's flying.
Gotcha. Okay. That's pretty
Well,
nuts.
I have no range, so.
So wait. Is it back to the top of the round?
No, it's the Chimera's turn, which means now it is Ace's turn, which he can't reach. So he just kind of like watches it and kind of like goes, "Oh, well, that's fine. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, that's."
He doesn't
good,
watch
good."
shit.
Nope. Because
Yeah,
he's
you
blind.
blind.
He's also blinded. Yeah.
He hears
Alright,
shit.
alright.
So he hears the woof, 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 woof. He's like, oh, I guess it left. So he doesn't do anything next to his whisper.
I stabbed in the general direction that it used to be. There's nothing there.
Okay.
No
Make a
goes
Constitution
down.
saving throw.
Come on, my friend.
Right, he's no longer blinded.
That was not friendly.
Yeah, that's a 12.
That's not gonna do it. So you are still blinded. Unfortunate.
I should be rolling my pink dice. I don't know why I abandoned her.
Oh wait, did I get to go after the Chimera?
Nope. So go ahead.
Alright, so I'm gonna try to hit it with a couple net bolts.
Oh. Good.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Go ahead, Monster Hunter.
Go ahead. I just rolled 100.
Ruh-roh.
Pretty hard.
Not that it matters, because I'm not rolling for
1
anything,
out of
but
100 chance.
it just happened. Yeah.
So I'm assuming Des moved into range of this.
Sure. Let's go.
To make-
10, 15, 20, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yep.
Sweet.
Well, it's
Hypotenuse.
Yeah, that's
I wish
Say
I was high on
not.
pot news.
so you want to be just barely in
30,
range?
30.
math
The
classes?
hypotenuse
Feel.
is.
Oh yeah, we definitely netted this
Are there
motherfucker.
math classes in strict saving?
All right,
Yeah.
so I hit him with a
I might
20
not.
and a
I'm probably
23
not taking them.
to net.
So you hit him with 2 nets.
2 nets. He's double netted.
All right, so you see it kind of like your 2 nets fly off. 2 of them wrap
What?
around its wings as it kind of falls, and the other one wraps around its legs, and it kind of like is basically restrained.
Did it fall?
And yeah, it falls.
Yes.
And I think there's a restrained
You know what? I'm not going to be a peanut.
thing.
I'm going to let it happen.
Des is gonna kind of like yeah. After she net.
It is restrained. I'll just say that.
Is there a big
What
thud?
happened?
What?
Is there a big thud?
It's on the ground.
And Des is
I hog tied
excited.
it.
Oh, I
Fuck
got-
yeah!
Way to go, bruv! I have no idea what happened, but there was a
Wow,
thud and you were
shit.
happy.
Well, you probably heard a.
Exactly,
It
and
literally
then a
when
happy
it was
show.
trying to fly away, and it gets hit with 2 nets, and just absolutely eats shit yard sale into a giant stack of books and a bookshelf. And breaks a bunch of stuff, and you can just hear it go. Yeah, exactly. You got it. All right, Koros
4.
Tor, and he will kind of 10, 15, 30, and he will cast sleep.
Now, one Chimera.
Sun's getting real low.
Here in the
Yeah?
library you'll die.
Damn.
Surrounded by scrolls and books too, you shall sleep now.
With stab wounds, my
God.
victim.
Glad you guys were having fun.
Chimera, Chimera, die swiftly for me.
Damn.
Hold on the table and let the bookshelf fall.
I want to cut off
Sleep
your
and
goat head
remember
right now.
My
Your
sweet
killer
I'm haunted
tonight.
by the dream of a goat man.
lullaby.
And I hesitate to stop this. It's so nice and pretty.
Thanks.
He's gonna cast it as a 3rd level spell as well.
Chimera,
See, 3rd level?
Chimera,
Yeah, okay, that's it.
I
about
want
what I can do.
to end.
7. So it's
I've been
14.
itching to kill all this time.
So much death.
15.
Why are we
Prince
so,
of Library.
why are we so violent, guys?
Because
More like
it
Des.
attacked us first.
Des hasn't gotten her
First
hunting
do
fix in a
no
while.
harm.
On shot first.
It's 34.
Des
No harm.
enjoys the thrill of the hunt.
Alright, that's more than enough HP to put it to sleep. So it is now asleep, and all of the. You see a few of the. A few
Do
wizards
I?
and mage. No.
Straight in
the
the
people
rim.
who can see sees a bunch of the.
There's very few of us at this
Mage,
point.
yeah, a few of the mages. And things go over to it and kind of like make sure that it's okay. And you see a couple more binding spells as like little like magical chains wrap around its 3 of its necks and its arms and such. So who does see that? Des sees it.
Des.
Des sees it. And Des sees it. That's all the people who see it.
Des is gonna do this motion like hot damn, hot diggity.
What happened?
What? What happened? What?
Oh, just another glorious victory by yours truly.
Des, you fall again.
No, you killed it without me.
Oh, it ain't dead, regrettably.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
Don't kill all the things.
Why did we want to kill everything?
It attacked me
Listen,
first.
I don't want to kill everything, just this thing.
Wow.
It's ugly, it's unfashionable, and it bit me.
It's unfashionable.
Listen,
Bubbles are gross.
It's very
It's
asymmetrical.
really gross. It traps my boyfriend. I did not fuck with that.
it's
It's
not.
not a vibe.
It's
it failed
not
the
about
vibe
the
check.
bubbles. It's the fact that it startled me in a corner. I don't like it.
But can we catch it humanely and, you know,
You guys
or
actually.
canely?
No, it's.
I'll let you make like a oh god, what do they call it? Taxidermy if you really are attached to it this much.
It takes about
Oh, Grinch.
30-40 seconds for the mages to corral it and kind of lead it back to where it was supposed to, which means that all of your blindness is now fine. It only lasts a minute.
Scrub.
And like, I'm not gonna make you make a bunch of con saves because like that's stupid.
Des is gonna take a swig of Andersville Finest
Andersville's fine as what?
whiskey.
Okay. Just gotta make sure there's so many of them.
Andersville's finest these nuts.
Dang! Rude.
God!
Rude on these nuts. Alright. So, after all of that,
I'm no longer giant.
you are no longer giant, you're no longer blinded, there's no longer a bunch of shields of faith, there's just so many less of these things available.
There was only one shield of fate because it's concentration.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
My
That would be my mistake. Alright, either way,
I just really wanted to cast, you know, Voice of Authority. Or use Voice of Authority.
is voice of authority something that you need to break concentration to do?
No, I have to cast a spell on someone.
Oh, that's right.
I love it when a thing tries to fly away from me and I can't.
I love it when a plan comes together. 18 reference.
Yeah, it's almost like I gave you a thing to do that. It's pretty good, right?
I love it. I love my nipples.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
I'm going to need to buy more soon though, because I only have 5 left.
How many did you
So
start
you
with?
heard too?
I think I started with 10.
Yeah. So you're halfway done.
nut bolts. I got to go on.
I also love his nut bolts.
What's that?
What?
Hi, sorry, were you doing something?
Are we chucking net bolts?
Nut bolts,
Nut
maybe.
bolts. Nut bolts and nipples.
Alright, as the Chimera is
So we're in the porn section.
led away
We're in the
through
smut section, apparently.
a
Nut bolts and
larger
nipples.
ornate door that you recognize as towards the laboratories and the research part of the library. Ace kind of like claps his hands together, puts his sword away. He's like, "Whew, that was a good warm up. You guys did very well. I was unfortunately incapacitated in some way or another throughout the entire fight, so I'm glad that the 4 of you were here to help us." And Koras kind of like coughs a little bit, like, "Excuse me." You're
I
welcome.
don't say a word. I just put a feminine hand on the arm. Very supportive. Very there.
Des is gonna kind of stroll over because she's like, she's like a little
Really
bit further
far
away.
away.
She's gonna kind of stroll over and be like, "Happy to help."
Does anybody look really hurt?
Another day.
You need a good smoke after
just
that.
me.
Oh yeah.
No, just you.
Okay.
I think Ari
I-
got hit a couple times.
I'm
What do you got?
13 points down.
21.
Yeah, there's a couple scraps, a couple scrapes.
It's okay, I've got all the potions.
It
A little bit of bruising.
Scratch that little like hunting itch. It's like, oh my god.
I
I'm
scratched
down
that itch
13.
another way.
Okay.
I'll let other people
I'll
do
put
it
my
for me.
hand on Whisper and heal you 5 with my lay on hands.
Sweet.
All right. As you guys kind of congratulate yourself, like, feeling pretty good. That was really well done. You guys were able to subdue the monster without anyone getting too hurt. Sans, several books and a bunch of porn, but such are sacrifices you have to make sometimes.
Porn love has been destroyed.
It's okay, there's nut bolts and nipples over there.
The porn.
Are there any of those books that have lots of pictures?
Who are you asking?
The DM?
You can see why I was confused because you said it in your character voice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there's
The
a
DM.
there's a lot
I'm
of
just trying to find
illustrated
fucking
like
porn,
atlases
you know?
and like encyclopedias.
No, like the smut books that fell over. Any of them with lots of pictures?
I mean, they're all lots of pictures.
She really couldn't care less about the atlases.
Yeah, there's plenty of porn books that are just kind of strewn about over to
Sweet.
the south.
Speaking of porn books, do they have volume 8 of Dragon Dance?
You would have. You asking me, the DM? They probably have a copy of pretty much anything that's ever been published. So you would have to ask one of the librarians. but I'm sure that they could very, very easily lead you to where you want to go.
Listen, they owe me.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a couple of those highly illustrated ones.
Okay.
I'm picking
Stick
up
them in the bag.
Some of the librarians will kind of look at you as you're taking the book, like, I hope you're going to check that out.
Sure. I don't really know what that means.
You're getting worse.
I don't say that
That's
part
actually
out loud.
strap.
No, I figured. It wasn't in character voice. Alright. So, Assyrian will kind of like try and gather you all to try and go back towards like the original thing of going towards the library section. Unfortunately for him, Vakal does make his presence known. He kind of like appears behind the rest of you, like you guys didn't quite pick up on him.
Did he's surprised as?
He surprised all of you. Yes.
Okay, because like I mean like did he like surprise Des? Because like Des would probably be like
He wasn't like right behind you. He was more probably behind he's like 15 feet behind the rest of you, but like he was suddenly there, and none of you guys really noticed that he showed up.
Oh, then I don't scream.
Des,
Yeah, he's not like
Des is like
hears you and then he's just like in your ear like hello.
yeah, you get a fucking elbow from Des.
So he kind of adjusts his tunic. He's like, well, it seems we have quite the issue. If you will accompany me outside for just a moment, I'm sure you'll see exactly what I mean. And as you guys walk out, you see far in the distance to the southwest, it's almost hard to kind of make out, but you can see a massive pyramid jutting out of the water, and you can see in the sky the clouds open up into that donut formation as energy pours straight into the sky. He's like, I believe one of the pillars has crumbled, and he kind of like solemnly looks out after it, and kind of shakes his head like he should explain. The pillars of the material plane must be maintained, with the elemental planes will interfere and intercede into our world. This is the opposite of what we want. And this, it appears, is the elemental plane of water making its presence felt. And that's if you could imagine kind of like a zoom out feature of this, where the title card comes in as the name of the campaign comes up, and it is Pillars of Creation.
I don't have my laptop.
I know, it's unfortunate, but Vakal continues to explain, we must recover the dragon orb that was used to breach this plane. We must act quickly. Please, come with me. And then he turns and kind of walks back briskly into the library, leads you guys back towards the inner sanctum of the Pillars of Bahamut. And Assyrian, Yasadi, and Korast all kind of like look out over the ocean towards the giant temple that is perched itself very precariously right next to Cliffhaven, where you guys just like went off to. He just kind of goes, like all three of them like collectively, and then they turn and follow you. You guys have any reaction to this?
This is a lot to take in.
I'm not sure if Des has had any familiarity with anything from like planal crossings or anything like that.
I can't imagine she would.
I mean, unless it was like something from the Earth plane in like
Maybe.
the planes area.
Yeah.
Can I roll
Are
history?
we worried about the weather?
You can roll history, absolutely. What are you trying to find out?
Just as a flavor, how much I've heard or haven't heard about this.
The elemental plane of water?
Just like any of this?
I mean, make a history check.
Because like my family's rather self-centered, but I am okay at history.
We worried about that weather?
So
I'm
that's a
gonna make
17.
check and find out.
A 17. With a 17, you remember there are several instances in your family's archives. They have their own library, their own kind of like
Yes, we do.
archive of knowledge. There have been several instances where the elemental plane of water has kind of made itself known, usually as a large thunderstorm or a tidal wave or some kind of like instrumental like not necessarily a physical thing that manifests, but like a natural disaster like a hurricane. There have been like a super hurricane that has come through over the years. Nothing recent, nothing that would affect your day-to-day lives, but there have been several instances of when the elemental planes are out of line, specifically the plane of water, there have been several calamities and several disasters that have stemmed from that. And right now it looks like a rather sizable storm is brewing around that particular temple.
Well,
I did a
we're
history
just
check
gonna
as
have
well.
to.
You did a history check as well? What'd you get?
I got a 12.
You're not quite as familiar with the elemental plane of water. You've heard that there have been like a big storm that has kind of like come through and basically washed some of the more like populated areas away. One of the things about Andersville is a lot of the topsoil was washed away in a large elemental plane of water event. And that's why the plains of that area are quite as arid as, instead of the surrounding area, which is typically lush and forested, just that particular area got kind of erased of all its nutrients because of the large storm that went through.
I don't like this, Addy. I don't like this one bit.
The storm cloud.
Yeah.
So
My granddaddy told me about something like this. That's why the ground around our place is so arid.
And to be fair, this would not be like this was back in my grandfather's day. This was like probably hundreds of years ago, and your grandfather knew about it from like a record that he read in some other book, and then it was passed down. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? This is concern you because this is very close to your town and your kind of area.
Yeah, no, Jonas is definitely lost for words.
Walk us through it.
I mean, if he doesn't, if he's at a loss for words, then he doesn't say anything. That's fine.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
give us not necessarily the characters. Give us the players and the listeners some insight. Walk us through it.
yeah, he's. I mean, for him, he's had his city's had run-ins with water elemental convergences, if you will, usually in the form of different creatures making their way into the depths of the city of Chrysopolis. But for him, he's thinking about, he's left his city unguarded, and so he's a fish out of water, literally, at this point.
Yeah.
Do I notice that Jonas seems a little bit more anxious than normal?
Make an insight check. And I'll leave it up to you if this is a high enough insight check.
That is a 16 plus 3, 19.
Yeah, I mean, he's usually pretty optimistic for the most part. So he's definitely, him being a loss for words with his blunt self is weird.
Well, we're not quite friends, but I do settle up into your peripheral vision, a nice, friendly elbows distance away, and I kind of just, this is huge, huh?
It is troublesome.
Yeah. And you and your tribe may have had like an idea that there was an intersection between the elemental plane of water and your kind of area, because like it's always been very pure waters, very abundant life. There's been a lot of energy in the area.
They see themselves as guardians.
Yeah.
The prime, the material plane.
So for this giant temple to become up basically right on your doorstep, it's not necessarily a surprise, but it's not something you expected at all.
Yeah.
For this to suddenly manifest.
Yeah. To him, this means core.
Yeah, it's not it's definitely going to be quite a little arc that we're going to have to go through in order to deal with this.
We're gonna do everything we can.
But is somebody going to explain to me why a rainstorm's a bad thing?
If no one's gonna say anything, Korast will kind of like click his claws against the tourmaline of his staff. A storm is not necessarily a bad thing unless it doesn't stop.
It is a bad woman. A boat is to come.
I mean, bad storms kill people too, so like.
Well,
Or it can change an entire way of life.
Yasadi's gonna look at like, and we're in for the mother of bad storms. And she kind of like clanks the mace on the ground, picks it back up, and then turns around and walks back.
We'll get the town ready for it.
There is no preparation for this.
We can get them
There's
to high
only-
ground. We can. There's things we can do, and I know you know what to
Batten down windows,
It is only solving the problem.
do. Then we'll do that.
windbreaks.
Don't look so down. It's weird.
This city
Mm-hmm.
that is fallen. Where is it? This temple.
Where is the temple manifesting?
Yeah.
Well,
You said it's near Cliff Haven, right?
it is a few miles off the coast of Cliff Haven.
Alright.
And
Close to where I came from. Yeah.
well, specifically, it's where Shapash told you the temple that she was trying to raid was.
As somebody who's pretty good at survival, would I recognize that?
Like the location of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need to roll for that. Like, it's pretty obvious that's pretty much where it
Pretty
is.
decent for us.
Like, it's a giant temple you can see from, like, miles away. Like, it's not hard to discern where it is.
Told you we should have kept that eye.
Speaking of which, Whisper feels a bit of rumbling in her back pocket as the Electrum piece that Shapash gave her starts to shake.
What?
It just keeps shaking.
Why?
What do you do?
I don't know. Freak out? Look at it? Trying to
It's just
turn it off?
it keeps rumbling.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, thank you. Jesus. Hey, you know that eye thing you guys gave me where I wanted to get that treasure thing?
Please don't tell me you're proving me right now because like I told you that you were a sussy little baka and you were like, no, totally not, absolutely not. And then you were like fist deep in my pussy and it was cool, but like please tell me you're not like proving me right now. Please
I don't know what half the things you just said were, but I'm not, and I also don't know what proving you're right would mean. However, I'm in a bit of a pick, and you hear like clang, clang, like, and something like fall over through the other side. Like, anyway, I'm about 6 miles off of Cliffhaven. I don't know if you've noticed. There's kind of a shit going down out here. Can I get some help? Question mark? Perhaps.
I need you to swear this wasn't you.
I mean, it wasn't what I intended, if that's any consolation.
God, you're so stupid, but you're so hot. Okay, I'll see what I can do.
And then, as halfway through thanks, it cuts out as another crash comes through.
So we need to get out there.
You need another phone call?
Yeah.
I did that as a bit. I don't know how you knew I'd do that.
This is like just buried in her head. Where are we going?
Rudy should have kept the fucking eye.
You know, I have been given intel that we need to go out there. And if it was Shapash, we can end it. And if it wasn't, she might know what did it.
Would she though?
Listen, this is not the most honest person I know.
You want us to sail out in a
Fucking
boat
Pirates.
in the middle of
Listen, she's
Bum
there.
fuck nowhere water.
Regardless of whether or not Shaposh didn't know who did it, didn't do it. Jana says we need to solve the problem. And the problem is at the temple. So
I like your deductive reasoning. It's very straight.
we go to the temple
big
to try and
word.
solve the problem, and if Shaposh is involved or not, whatever. I'm making my end of a deal, but we're also doing the right thing.
The right thing being sail out to the middle of nowhere
And
to
try to solve the problem.
solve whatever problem is.
Nowhere is 6 miles away from.
And get her.
Right. We're just gonna sail out there and just hope there's a problem that we can solve.
No, I think we can tell there's a problem.
Sure.
I think she means that we can solve it part.
We sail out there, solve it,
Because, like,
because there's a problem to
What
solve
if we
there.
can't?
These
solve
I
it.
turn to the rest of the Dragonborn.
Korast and Ace are still there, and
Okay.
Sadi has left.
How do we solve?
What do you think? Do we
Is
go
this-
to the
Is
temple?
this reversible?
Is this something we sail out to and rearrange something out?
Assyrian kind of looks at it, and he's kind of like, well, it got here somehow, so there's got to be some way to send it back, right?
Just what I was thinking. You're so smart.
Korast is like emanating like, ugh.
Dez is gonna kind of look at Koros and just be like,
Yeah, Korask and Dez share a look like, are you goddamn serious?
"This is the first time." Dez look Koros like,
So cool.
Like, and Korask can't move his neck, so like all you see is his eye just like move towards you, and you see it just like roll backwards. Like Jesus Christ.
I'm with
And
Ace.
Ace also says like, and if there's anyone who knows how to send it back, it would be Raquel. So
let's have
Let's,
a quick chat in the war room.
right, and he doesn't leave yet. He's still looking at the giant temple.
Well, that I understand.
I mean, it was in common.
Dez is gonna like offer a fist bump.
Yasadi looks
I'm
at
giving you a
the
fist bump for that.
or Korask looks at the giant temple again, kind of shifts his shoulders to look at Ace, kind of like, and then walks backward a few steps before turning and walking back. And then after about 2 or 3 more minutes, if the rest of you haven't walked away yet, Ace will give one final, as like kind of like a psych up thing. Kind of jump in his armor as it like clinks around a little bit. Like, all right, let's go. And then he goes back and
I follow
and just power walks back towards the intersection.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Are we just supposed to keep walking in circles?
Apparently.
You get your steps in today.
I'm not sure I know what that means.
Hey!
Natural 20!
And let's just end the episode there, honestly.
Honestly, this is a great place to end the episode if I'm real.
Yeah, I think as you guys kind of watch out over the ocean and see the next big threat facing your world, you kind of take a minute to take it in, and we'll zoom out and we'll end the episode there.
But we should thank people.
Like Sirenscape!
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sirenscape. Today we used a lot of your sounds and music and ambient noises for our campaign. We love it, and we think you'll love it too.
And thank you, Hershey Kiss, for providing us tinfoil.
Don't thank Hershey Kiss. We need to pay for that shit.
Yeah, facts.
We'll thank Hershey when they send us free stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Good plan.
Okay, a pleasure. Aiming towards prices.
I mean, we got the title card. We got
Pillars of Creation, right?
We will have the title card.
We will
I
have
don't
the title
my
card.
laptop. It was the one session I didn't bring in.
I mean, I did warn you that it would most likely be today.
I know, and then we didn't think far enough to think about.
Yeah, we were busy with other
Are
stuff.
we
like
long resting or no?
Oh yeah, this will be a long rest.
Okay.
This is my one and only
So we're going
character
to
that's a
have a
straight
conversation.
shooter.
That's a long rest.
What is?
I thought we were going to have a conversation.
I mean, there will. Just narratively, it's a long rest.
Okay.
We don't have to. We don't have to be bogged down with the rules. I'm saying it's a long rest because I have the ability to say so.
Sure. I'm happy to have
I'm glad that's on camera.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
I
thank you
went
for
to
a
give him
fun
a high
session, by the way.
five, and he put a fucking crumpled piece of paper in my hand, and I had to go.
No, I think
Wait,
he wanted you to throw it into Cat's
Is there anything we're
Okay,
trying to
okay,
wrap
okay.
up
That was
here?
the idea.
Anything
Move
else
your
we're
arm.
Hey, don't block. Come on.
That's not nearly small
Come on.
enough.
Okay,
Is
hold
there
on.
anything,
Far too
hold,
easy
don't
to
move
with
block.
that.
hold on.
Hold
is
on.
Is there anything else we're wrapping up before? Is this just mostly just shenanigans at this
You're
point?
right.
Yeah, make sure you always make sure you wrap before you tap. Right.
Alright, I'm gonna assume that's the done. That's it.
Yeah, that'll do it. What did you want? Did you want to say something?
No, no, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any
Yeah.
other like
No,
bits and
yeah,
stuff going
no,
on before
you can
we
throw it
wrap
back.
up.
No.
No, that'll be the end of
Thanks for
this
tuning in.
particular. That'll be the end of the prologue, essentially.
Do we level up yet?
You do.
I have the worst
Yes!
friend.
Let's fucking go! Yes!
Oh,
Actually, more damage, which isn't necessary.
Finally, I get my extra attack, motherfucker!
said, thanks for tuning in, Lizards and Location.
We love you.
Yes!
You're our best friends. Tune in next time. We don't know what the hell we're playing, but we want to see you there because we care.
And B square.
And be square.
Boo! Absolute boo!
Don't be square. For the love of
Fair.
God, don't be
Yeah,
square.
don't be square. Be cute.
Never be square.
Here, John.
Fusion. Is that what we're going for?
Is this our first level
Okay.
up? I'm getting goosies.
I think you guys started at 3,
Yeah.
We start.
Start at 3?
We did
Okay.
start.
Okay.
Yeah.
and then we went up.
Do you want me to stop it? So I should just like hit it rather than just like letting like a blooper reel can I like keep going?
I mean, we can
Fine,
keep
keep
going
going.
as
like,
far as you
I'm
want.
about to roll a 12. That's a 5.